give more details on what you told us, and that is we got the guy. You guys got the guy.
20.
Going to be there, I guess, to give more.
This is a random timestamp. Okay, I'll find it. Hold on.
What do you say to people who are saying they see the assassination attempts in your life, they see the Minnesota lawmakers, they see what happened, they see what happened to Charlie, and they're saying what's going on with the political process now? Instead of trying to get votes, you're trying to survive. There are lawmakers canceling their events this weekend. AOC on the left and a lot of lawmakers on the right saying, I'm a little concerned about doing a public event. As president, what do you tell them?
I say you have to go forward. You just have to go forward. You watch, as closely.
Oh, this answer wasn't cut bad. Never mind. Linkers are fucking retarded. This answer wasn't cut bad. They just cut the one nice answer when in all the other ones he was saying he doesn't care what anybody does in the country. They cut the question. Yeah, this is
friends and families confirmed it. So is the message to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter.
That's where to go.
But unfortunately, we don't have so many ballot boxes because they have mail-in voting, which is totally rigged. There are a lot of problems. I like ballot boxes.
Totally rigged.
Mail-in voting all over the place, which is rigged. Anytime Jimmy Carter.
It's rigged. It's fucking rigged.
It's a crooked election, okay? And they're going to say,
Crooked.
but I can't always say the ballot boxes. In some cases, California doesn't have ballot boxes. They send out 38 million ballots. Nobody knows where the hell they're going. Then they come back. Democrats get more than Republicans.
Nobody knows.
Unfair, the system, and we're going to fix the system.
So unfair.
And then there was this one.
Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less.
Oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping
We
centers.
don't want them.
Shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want
Politically savvy.
open borders. The worst thing that happened to this country, because I've already solved inflation, costs it down. Look at energy costs. You're going to have $2.
Hi, Destiny. You've been saying the right needs to keep the temperature. Agreed. It's kind of a cesspool at the moment. Honest take, do you think Kirk would have done that if some other rightoid was shot?
Hi, I'm Brett.
And I'm Jonathan.
This is Darla.
And this is Buddy.
We're the founders of the Farmer's Dog.
We've made an entirely new way to feed your dog.
It all started with my first dog, Jada. I got Jada in my early 20s. It was just love at first sight. She was the most adorable, smart dog, but her stomach was just constantly a problem.
Astonishing.
Nothing seemed to help until a vet recommended that I started home.
Nothing seemed to help.
Her issues went away.
Her life changed. He constantly advocated nonviolence. Would you want, say, Hassan or Vosh to turn it on the temp if you got shot? Not to put that evil energy out there or anything. What I want, I mean, I would want, I don't want anybody to turn the temperature down. I want the temperature to turn down, right? So that's the goal. So what we want to find is what are effective ways to turn the temperature down, okay? Well, the way to turn the temperature down is to find the party that is raising the temperature and telling us to stop, okay? Vosh and Hassan, I mean, one of their followers killed me, then I guess I would say fuck them. But like, generally right now, the Donald Trump shit is crazy. Like, there is an argument to be made that if Biden or Kamala had won the election, that Charlie Kirk wouldn't have gotten shot, just because politics was pretty boring in the 4 years where Biden was president. We weren't seeing tweets every single fucking day. We weren't seeing truths every single fucking day.
Motherfucker.
Scandal, just insane shit happening. Even with 2 wars, arguably, that started.
Get off.
It just wasn't as crazy as the daily fucking insanity of the fucking Trump party. So, whatever. He was one of the only people. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
What do you say to people who are saying they see the assassination attempts in your life, they see the Minnesota lawmakers?
Okay, I guess I can't take those guys out.
We can't be afraid to say men and women are different, that we believe in sovereign borders, that fighting racists and fighting crime isn't racist. And we have to go where Charlie went, everywhere, and talk to everyone, no matter where they're from, and what they look like, and what they believe. We have to force them to listen to us. And we have to confront them with facts and logic and science and reason. And do it in a way that's not mean-spirited. Remember, he sat back in his chair, he smiled, he listened, and debated like a real American. And he did it in person, surrounded by flesh and bone, not staring down the rabbit hole of the internet alone. That's where hatred brews.
Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. If this is a turning point for us, we get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please follow what Charlie taught me.
This country needs a spiritual awakening. We need to go outside, hug each other, touch each other, talk to one another, and find our faith like Charlie did, get married, have families, and live honest and decent lives with purpose. This spiritual reawakening will be a turning point. Charlie was the turning point. You can feel it. You can see it happening.
Oh boy.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice.
Well, so he got turned in by his dad, but okay. We're thanking them for their efforts.
I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide.
Apparently, if you break the camera control button on the new iPhone 17, it costs $750 to replace.
What the f is this?
Yet, most phone cases leave the button fully exposed. So one bad drop sideways onto concrete and the glass button is toast. So this is the new Limitless 7.0 case by Mouse. Designed with a 5-part camera control button, a silicone diaphragm construction for a perfect tactile feel, impact and scratch resistant glass, and a high-tech PCB layout so your button works seamlessly with Apple's design. And the protection on this case is insane, with AeroShock technology that absorbs and spreads out energy upon impact. The new camera bar is protected by a super rigid polycarbonate material, which unlike cheap Amazon cases, stops your case flexing and phone breaking. It has 38 individual MagSafe magnets built into the case, so it is super strong. A microfiber back, grip sides for extra grip, and clicky hinges. It's made with real materials, like walnut and aramid fiber, the same material used to make bulletproof vests, all while being 25% thinner, making it lighter and easier to carry. Thousands of 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty ensures Limitless 7.0 is probably the perfect case for you.
And in case we forgot to mention, we've put everything we've learned over the past 10 years into making seriously engineered mouse backpacks. Extreme protection, serious water resistance, with complete functionality and ease of access. We've designed bags that do it all, so you don't have to compromise, and tested them in true style. We are no longer just a phone case company. live without
Mouse. Live without limits.
I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same.
This counts as research, right?
Mr. President, my husband loved you. You loved him too. He did.
Oh damn.
You supported him so well. I'm so happy for you. 2 days ago.
Genuinely asking. I'm not trying to fucking be a memer or meme on the side to the other side or whatever, but like,
Jesus.
real world, when people are really sad, I've heard eulogies and stuff. Do people? Is that a real thing? Do people do this outside of TV shows and movies?
Actually, I'm unfamiliar with this genus of blue butterfly.
God, we're gonna get a couple yeses. Can be.
Chilling.
My husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his savior.
What are you implying? That this whole thing is performing as fuck. But I don't know. That's a pretty mean take.
And his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Now and
Like, I always hardcore caution against like reading into how people react to things like emotionally, because different people can react in different ways, but that doesn't mean they can react in any way. This feels like this is really weird. I don't know. This doesn't feel genuine to me, but whatever. I mean, it's no way to prove it, right?
now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life.
This like look up into the sky and say, okay.
He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. Want me to say go Ducks?
Oregon Ducks?
Since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all,
She just touched the handkerchief to her nose corner. I'm sorry.
go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day.
Tear runs down the nose. Why wouldn't you wipe your eye too? I don't believe any of this. You know what? I'm full on that. I don't believe anything.
Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day.
Where the fuck is this?
He still is a good man. He was the perfect father.
Unless maybe it's like a super religious thing if you're fucking evangelical. Somebody said my wife's family is super religious. This is unironically normal to them. Yeah, maybe for preachers or whatever.
He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has.
Glacial sting.
He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ
By robes.
and gave himself up for them. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord.
Isn't there a fucking... There was no saving here, huh?
The world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good.
It's clean.
And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose.
It melts right off the exoskeleton.
Already I have seen the world
Right off the exoskeleton.
my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea.
The fact that somebody that powerful, his career has been completely ruined, I think that's a real message to anybody who would behave like this.
There's no one in Harvey's world that didn't know
what they have done.
Weinstein.
They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love.
What the oh, god damn it.
All know this. If you thought that my husband's mission
Where the fuck are you, Aunt?
before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Jesus.
In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Let's reestablish
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it.
One more down.
It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability.
What the fuck?
Phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback. And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you at 15.
Jesus.
He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on.
I feel like if you're sad and talking, your voice goes shaky and you tremble. Is this something I've only ever seen in movies / TV? And generally it's poorly acted, maybe I'm just super autistic. Well, I feel like...
It keeps resetting.
I guess I'm generalizing. It's from my experiences. You know when you're like fucking and you're like close to cooming and you're like about to coom and you're like on the edge? I feel like when you like you would never say you have sex where you edge for like 20 minutes, right? Unless you're a super gooner or something, you know? I feel like if I'm talking to somebody and they're at the point...
Oh, wait, he can't come through here, can he?
Once they get to that point, to hold that for like a 10 or 20 minute thing, I feel like at that point they either start crying or they have to basically stop talking until they recover. I've never heard somebody be able to just keep talking at this point. But maybe in different places, maybe it happens. I don't know. I don't have that many points of comparisons in real life.
Oh, shit. He can't get it.
I've heard somebody who can push through and have like a whole conversation about it. They either have to cry and like get it out of their system, or they have to take a moment to calm down. Yeah. I guess the thing I was thinking the most was
Oh, God.
Clearly triggered.
Jesus.
Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side, and I was cornered from in front of me with Mr.
Part of the
Zeminski.
colony. Quite an efficient way to get around.
There were
like holding this and then having a 10-minute conversation. Just with my voice, it doesn't seem possible. You either calm down at this point or you just start crying. I've never seen anybody like just carry on past at that point. But
there were people.
But maybe some people can. I don't know. I don't believe any of them.
It will be greater than ever. The radio.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. I do believe Rittenhouse is tears are real. I don't believe anything that comes from these people, whoever these people are.
Podcast show that he was so proud of.
I really hope you're preparing for my test. It'd be so boring if you die right away.
And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure. My favorite too, but my husband's favorite word in the English language was earn. He would call all of you to be people of action who earn the future America deserves. So to all of the young people who felt inspired by my husband's faith and hard work, all of you already know what Charlie would want you to do. You know. You know. If you're in high school or if you're in college, go find your local Turning Point USA chapter. Join it. Stay involved. He wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can. The movement.
Where the fuck is my back? Oh my God, I felt that.
When you join it. If there isn't a chapter, you can't find one, then start one. There is no excuse. You can start one. And as my husband used to say in this room, every single day, if you want to get involved, the best way you can do that is going to tpusa.com. That's what he would say every day from this chair. Every single day. I watched his show every day, and he would always say, if you want to get
Jesus.
involved, go to tpusa.com.
We should get him paid for this.
Fuck! Fuck! Ah.
That's pretty wild, but whatever.
If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, I highly recommend that you come to America Fest in December. Sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. I would love to see you. Charlie would. He'll be there. He'll be there in spirit. Bring your kids, bring your family. But most important of all, if you aren't a member of a church, I beg you to join one. A Bible-believing church. Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare is palpable. Charlie loved his Savior with all of his heart, and he wanted every one of you to know him too. He wanted everyone to know that if they confess the Lord Jesus Christ who rose from the dead, then they will be saved. Hear me when I say this, nobody is ever too young to know the gospel. Nobody. Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country, this country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit. I know my husband is still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember.
Jesus.
Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'm going to turn from USA the biggest thing in this nation.
Jesus Christ.
I promise. Oh, Charlie, I love you. I love you, baby. Rest in the arms of our Lord as he blankets
Christ.
you. Know your heart always strives to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant. When I got home last night,
I expected more from you.
our daughter just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said, Mommy, I missed you. I said, I miss you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget. And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness Charlie, you alongside Jesus right now, doing what you always want to do, baby. Making heaven crowded, right? That's what it's all about. Making heaven crowded. I can't wait to see you again one day. Thank you all again who love my husband, who supported him, who wrote him an email every single day during his radio show. He read all of them. All of them.
Jesus.
God bless you all. And may God bless America.
Erica.
I like the pause for a deep breath.
Bless you all. God bless you all. And may God bless America.
Erica Kirk making remarks just moments ago. Charlie Kirk's widow with her first statement since the tragic loss of her husband, as we take a live vantage point at the ever-growing memorial for Charlie Kirk outside of TPUSA's headquarters in the Phoenix Metro. Our coverage continues.
Somebody linked Jackie Kennedy addressing the nation a month after the assassination? I don't know how long. I respectfully disagree. It was her husband, so she might just be processing what happened. So she is putting up a performance, in my opinion, because she thinks this is the right way to respond. Okay.
Get out my fucking way, Aunt.
This opportunity to express my appreciation for the hundreds of thousands of messages, nearly 800,000 in all, which my children and I have received over the past few weeks. The knowledge of the emotion in which my husband was held by all
How many of these can I make?
and the warmth of these
A bunch, huh?
never forget. Whenever I can bear to, I read them. All his bright light gone from the world. All of you who have written to me know how much we all loved him, and that he returned that love in full measure. It is my greatest wish that all of these letters be acknowledged. They will be, but it will take a long time to do so. But I know you will understand. Each and every message is to be treasured, not only for my children, but so that future generations will know how much our country and people in other nations thought of him. Your letters will be placed with his papers in the library to be erected in his memory along the Charles River in Boston, Massachusetts. I hope that in years to come, many of you and your children will be able to visit the Kennedy Library.
Okay. I don't know why this was like. Apparently, this is a month after he died, but.
It will be, we hope, not only a memorial to President Kennedy, but a living center of study of the times in which he lived, and a center for young people and for scholars from all over the world. May I thank you again.
What the fuck?
On behalf of my children and of the President's family, for the comfort that your letters have brought to us all. Thank you.
This seems far more genuine, or isn't it a fake rank? Well, I'm pretty sure she's just reading a teleprompter here. It's my guess. That's what it sounds like. Knives, 857. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships, buddy. That's 53 days after. Okay, thanks. I don't know where. Conservative cancel culture will be much more effective in the real world than progressive cancel culture was. This is probably true to some extent because liberal cancel culture or progressive cancel culture was never really as bad as people thought it was. It was just the right making it sound like it. Like if you lived through 2013 as an adult male, you thought that if you talked to a kid in the park, you would get the police called on you for being a pedophile. That's what conservatives convinced the entire population. Like, it's retarded. This fanfic posting, what the fuck? Turning point just changed. You can see it in her eyes. That's a woman on a path. You ghouls fucked up big time, Madam President. Destiny, didn't you literally say yesterday she's allowed to be unhinged? Like, that was unhinged, but I don't see how we can judge her grief. You can judge... fuck. You can judge people's... You can judge anything you want. So... Things can be, okay, welcome to the 50 millionth time I've given this speech. Things can be irrational, people can behave irrationally, but people are never random. So when somebody's grieving or when something's happening, there might be things that people do that are like irrational. what did we see yesterday? Was it a tweet or something? Like, I could understand somebody, you know, like tweeting something.
Jesus.
Crazy, you know, doing whatever. Like, if you're grieving,
Easy
right?
does it.
Like, if there was a speech being given and she walked up and grabbed the mic and she's like, "Fuck the people that killed Charlie Kirk. We're coming for you," or whatever. Like, I could get it. 17-minute prepared speech where she's clearly like written a script, has made decisions about the political future of Turning Point USA, is promoting membership signups and everything. Like every word here is chosen is intentional. This is not like just an unhinged, erratic, you know, irrational behavior. This is like a calculated, planned thing. I feel like the emotions didn't sell it for me. And the video at the casket is crazy. Yeah. Just because like people can act irrationally doesn't mean that every single behavior is now conceivable. I don't know if that makes sense. Like imagine somebody is like really sad and they like slash their boyfriend's tires because he cheated on her or whatever. It's like, okay, whatever, you know, shouldn't do it. It's not good, but you know, okay, I get it. But then like imagine this person got cheated on and then like 2 weeks later you find out that she dissected, you know, every single family member this guy had and all their pieces were cut up and put in jars in her basement, you know, where she carefully cataloged and videotaped every single, like it's like, okay, well this is, something is not okay here. You wouldn't just say, well, people grieve differently. That's retarded.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bill Mason, Lieutenant Governor Pete Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Why would the DPS commission be involved in this? Doesn't this just like try to single the birth? That's the only one I'm going to make that up.
Gentlemen, we got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and team investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also relayed to the FBI. Investigators used additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in
Are you fucking kidding me right now? Fuck, dude.
When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that
Okay, what do you
Hello?
want? Hi.
So about the prisoner's dilemma, I would just like to add, you usually assume that the prisoners are like in the same place. I don't think you can say that here because the right dominate the media by a lot, and anytime you give them any ounce of ammunition because they dominate that media, they will just use that to further their victimhood.
Yeah. Yeah, I said this, yeah. The media
Take a breather,
apparatus is an
bud,
issue, yeah?
as Ali would say.
Yeah, so it won't be the same if you're equally unhinged, it won't work.
Yeah, the media environment has to change as well, yeah.
Yeah, but so shouldn't what you're doing now be like phase 2?
What do you mean?
And
No,
first,
no. The when you say that they control the media, therefore, like, you know, you have to be careful about giving them ammunition. They fabricate ammunition. That you will never be able to. You shouldn't waste any time trying to quell every single thing that's said on your side when the other side is like an open civil war dialogue. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort, and it'll never be successful. You should just be pressuring the other side to bring it down. Because they'll find any piece of ammunition they want. What I just said. Every time somebody's asked to disavow anything, they should just say Donald Trump should do it first, and then I'll follow suit.
what, knowing that it will help legitimize their position.
Their position is already fully legitimate to them. What do you mean?
No, to their audience.
So then fine, then the position will be legitimized to their audience.
Because they act as if it's in
At some point, we have to move away from the optics obsession into from the world of fantasy and come back to the real world and actually care about things that are true and real. It can't constantly be, how can we entertain this delusion to the maximum extent possible while treating half the country like retarded children? The reality is that Donald Trump needs to turn down the rhetoric, and he should. It can't be this obsessive, like, well, shouldn't we fucking lie about our position and fucking lie about what we should all do so that the retarded children audience will all be manipulated? Like, no, it's so stupid. Like, there is a clear morally right answer, and I think pragmatically, I think it's the right answer as well. The idea that we should obsessively try to pragmatically, I think it is the correct answer.
I mean, it hasn't been working now. I don't know how it could work if they dominate the media, if Trump is...
Wait, what do you mean it hasn't been working now? The disavowal has been what we've tried, and that hasn't worked at all.
Well, you guys really... Well, the Dems aren't really unified. They don't... I mean, you guys are fractured on the left. You have the Dems, then you have the crazy commies, the Hassan Pikers.
Those people aren't politically relevant, though. The only reason they're as big in the media as they are is because they're on social media because the right talks about them all the time.
Exactly, and they use them to point to Democrats.
Okay, so how do we tone down Hassan Piker's rhetoric or Vosh's rhetoric?
Well, if you got the whole Democrat Party to all of a sudden just try and all at the same time push the message that we're not a part of the radical left, like a proper campaign.
You can't.
Like,
We've tried that a million times. There's no way to do that fully. And even if we did, they still called Obama a communist. Like, how are you going to separate? There's just no way.
But then you will see full accountability that the Republicans want from you because you can just shift it over to the radical left. The radical left is playing on you. If you say
then I would rather die than have to live a lie for the rest of my fucking life to appeal to a group of retards. I prefer that world. Okay, 100%. Like, the idea that I have to constantly rhetorically navigate where we lie over and over again because the other side gets to rape you in any hole they want at any point in time if you accidentally leave anything exposed is such a loser fucking way of approaching politics. Why doesn't the right have to constantly disavow the Groypers? Why doesn't the right have to constantly disavow every insane right-wing movement? Like you're on this road where we have to get the entire Democratic Party unified.
Jesus.
Even though they've been calling you communist forever, even though Donald Trump openly praises leaders like Kim Jong-un and China and everything else. No, it's fucking retarded. At some point, we need to be able to bring it back to reality and have real-world conversations. It's crazy.
No, but I completely agree. But the issue is that because of the radical left, they can try and legitimize the position. If you disavow them, you see all accountability, and you kill two birds with one stone.
You can do both. Yes, I think you should disavow them. I do. Yeah. I think everybody should too.
So
but you can do both at the same time. I've been pushing that campaign for 5 years. What are you talking about? And everybody on the left.
I'm saying, I agree with you. I'm saying the Democrat Party.
Jesus, get the fuck out of my way.
The Democrat Party should just push this all at the same time.
Wait, hold on. I've been saying this for the past 6 months. Hasn't that been literally my entire thing?
You don't represent the whole Democratic Party. There are still crazy radical left.
No, but you're talking to me right now, and that's my whole thing in the past 6 months has been that you should disavow every motherfucker on the socialist communist left. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking to you. But I agree with what you're saying. If you want a solution for the broader political landscape, I mean, if I'm talking to you, and of course, but we have to talk about the broader landscape here. If we're talking to you, the world would be. If everyone was just like you.
Yeah, but you're coming on. Do you think that like people should like control the calories they eat and go on walks every day? Like you're just talking about irrelevant shit right now. Like I agree with you, of course. I push people to do that, of course. But right now we just had an assassination, and now all the Democrats are doing the apology game again. And the specific direct advice is answer like Elizabeth Warren, right? We would love for the temperature to be lowered in this country. Donald Trump needs to do it. Like first, and then we'll follow suit. That's what needs to be said.
Exactly. That's why it would be so important to just push that example really hard in the public. We condemn the radical left. You get them finding out the party. You can have a unified messaging.
Well, no, but it's not appropriate to say I condemn the radical left right now. That's inappropriate because they want the blame to be on the radical left. But then they also play the word game because for them the radical left is all Democrats. When Donald Trump says the radical left is Democrats, who's he talking about? He's talking about the whole Democratic Party.
Exactly, but if you get the Dems to push it, at least you can see the accountability to the radical left, and you don't like the radical left either. So it's not like you take a losing position here. You kill two birds with one stone, literally. You get the Hassan Pikers out, and you can take away accountability.
Let's
I don't know what you're advising me to. I already agree with this. I already think that I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Your thing about disavowing Trump's rhetoric, that's all right, but that should be something you do in phase 2. Like phase 1 should be about getting the radical left out. Get in control back of the Democratic
You can do both.
Party, unifying.
You can do both at the same time, and you have to be able to dynamically respond to things. You can't just have one mission at any point in time when it comes to politics. You have to be able to contend with multiple things at once.
But I think we can both agree here that if you have radical left backstabbing you at any moment they have, it's not going to help your cause at all.
Yeah, I
And so you
agree.
need to
Which is
get
why
them
you,
out
yeah,
quick.
sure.
Exactly,
But right.
and they will continue to use radical left as an example of the Democratic
Okay,
Party.
I will cuck myself out to the Republican Party for as long as it takes until the Democrats every single one disavows the radical left. Is that the answer? So until every single Democrat and all the New York Times and WAPO all stop platforming Hassan, I'll just keep cucking and letting myself get anally raped over and over again by all the right-wing bullshit talking points. Is that the answer?
No, you just cut down on the memery, cut down on the edginess, but you can still remain the same in terms of
No,
Trump
I'm
needs
good.
to do this.
I'll keep memeing and edging myself and my whole audience when fucking Matt Walsh is out here literally saying it's impossible to unify with the left.
But they control the media. That's the problem.
Good.
They
Then let them
dominate it.
fucking
So they will use you as an example. You're just hurting your own cause because this isn't a prison dilemma.
I'm not hurting
it's
my own cause.
asymmetric.
You think I'm hurting my own cause because you think that the worst outcome is mutual violence. I don't think that. I don't agree with you.
I don't think that either.
Okay, then you're not. I would rather kill myself than optics cuck for the rest of my life. When we have to treat everybody like a retard. When the other side gets to literally play games like crazy. I would rather jump off my building. I'll go flying.
Agree.
Okay, then if you agree, then what you're telling me is you're telling me to jump. Okay, I don't want to do this.
No,
it's retarded.
I'm not saying jump, but in the terms of mutual violence, it's not just the Dems versus the Republicans. It's the Dems versus the Republicans and the radical left. You will lose in mutual violence because you have two sides you're against. The right only has one side.
Okay, then that's fine. And I'll sneak over to the MAGA. Then I'll sneak over to the MAGA side at the same time, and then that's what America should be. Because that's
So
I
what
think
is
it's fine.
the solution? Because I feel like mine at least tries, but yours.
We've been doing yours. I've been doing what you've been saying in particular for at least the last year. I've been fighting against tankies for a long fucking time. But just because you have to disavow the left doesn't mean that you can't also say, yo, we're not going to be the ones that are constantly on our knees begging to turn down the temperature when Donald Trump himself won't do it. You can do both of these things at the same time.
You don't have to be on your knees. The issue is
if you are calling to turn down the temperature while Fox News is calling for civil war, that is you on your knees.
You're trying to say that again?
There's no point. The Democrats have been calling to turn down the temperature for a decade, and the Republicans think it's epic and base to keep platforming Trump.
Yeah, but that, as I said, that's because they are able to play the victim card because they point to the radical left as an example to the Dems when
But they're not
That's
really the
point.
victims. That's the point. I don't want to sit here and keep then I don't want to play with that. Then go talk to another streamer, go do something else. I don't want to fake it anymore. It's so stupid. It's boring and dumb. Just I'll just give me an event, okay? There's plenty of rifles to blow me up.
Okay, so does that mean you do it even if it's to your detriment?
It's not as much a detriment as it is to my psychology to have to play this other retarded game. The reality is I don't believe that your strategy would be effective. You will never reach the level of disavowal that is necessary for Republicans to stop playing in Fantasyland. The reality is this didn't just happen in the last year. It didn't even happen with Trump 1. The Republicans have been building on this strategy for at least the better part of the last 3 decades.
The issue is, you're right, and the issue is it's working for them, and so they won't stop.
It's working, but part of the reason why it's working is because people are always on the defense, because retards have been convinced. People like you are saying things like, no, we just got to disavow the right people. We just got to purify our movement enough. We just got to make things perfect enough. Meanwhile, you're like on the left, you're saying that we need to successfully disavow every single fucking tanky, commie, whatever left, which I agree would be great. On the right, they are literally celebrating Andrew Tate. That's crazy.
And that's why it would be so good to do that, because if you separate radical left, now you can unify the Democrats. Now you can.
That's never gonna. You're never gonna reach a point where you manage. Who do you even separate from these people? Like again, I think there should be broad disavowal, but it's not gonna happen to the level where you reach some political effectiveness. Even if you totally separated from them, they're gonna still tie you in with these people. They'll still say that you guys are commies, and they're still gonna believe it. What do you think the people on the right?
Yeah, maybe the right will say that, but at least you have a public example. I mean, it's for the broader electorate here. This will be good for the election, for the future elections.
If we spend all of our time fighting with the far left, no. I think what's better for the election is have a strong liberal option.
You just publicly disavow them as strong as you can. You don't have to push anything other than that.
Sure, I agree with that. They should publicly disavow, but that doesn't mean you have to cuck out to Republican talking points. You can't, and then you keep saying, and then. It's not like one disavowal is going to eject all of them. There's still going to be a cancer in our politics.
No,
they're embedded in all of our media, in all of our staffer groups, in Congress. They are, unfortunately, not for the politicians themselves, but for the young people that run their offices. Like you're not going to get rid of all these people for the next 30 fucking years. You're talking about a project that's going to take until we're past the next 3 civil wars to be finished.
But So what do you want to do exactly? You just want to keep on saying
I don't
your edgy
understand.
shit?
Hold on. I'm going to read myself one more time and then I'm done. I don't know why people keep asking me to say the same thing over and over again. You do not unilaterally disavow. You say Donald Trump needs to turn down the fucking temperature. Once I hear him calling for disavow, we would love to follow suit. The temperature won't lower until he does it. If you want to disavow tankies and all that shit in the meantime, I think you should. And then I do this. I think you should continue to do this. I don't know what's so confusing about this fucking answer. I feel like I've said this
It's
like 50 times.
confusing because you admit that the right dominate the media, and you admit that the
Part
left
of
has
why
a
they
massive
The fuck was that?
My birth and past are tainted.
This counts as research, right? Another one for the compendium.
I guess I'll just go around and look for him.
This should protect my internal organs somewhat. It melts right off the exoskeleton. I would rather have my dad's cooking.
Yes, but part of why they dominate the media is because of what you're saying right now. Is because they make us play defense all the time. Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to disavow Andrew Tate? Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to hardcore disavow the Groyper movement? Why doesn't the right feel the pressure to hardcore disavow all of the anti-Semitic shit like that's happening? Like, there's no pressure on the right to disavow everything. It's always like, what do we have to disavow? What do we have to defend against? How do we have to purify our movement? Constantly, over and over and over again. It's crazy. It's not a winning strategy. You need a point to attack on. You need a strong position to defend, and then you have leaders in that movement. And if you want to disavow shit, they're not part of our solution. That's fine, but you have to have the strong movement first. It can't be a separatist thing where we just try to like move as many people out that don't agree with us. I don't know what us is right now. Aside from Gavin Newsom, we don't have to have strong leadership on the left to do it. So this idea we just need to cut out more and more and more people before building a strong base first is stupid. And the strong base starts by separating yourself from the truly different people, which are the Republicans, which are the right. And at the same time, I think that also pulls the plug on some of the lefty shit because they sit here and say both parties are the same anyway, which they're not.
But you shouldn't give them an attack vector.
They are
by
okay.
being edgy.
Okay.
I mean.
You're
I don't
wrong. You're just
understand how
wrong. I don't like you're saying don't give them an attack vector. Well, they've got fucking 14-year-old kitty fucker Roy Moore that they're pushing for Congress in special elections at the behest of Steve Bannon, who founded the fucking alt-right Breitbart. Like it's so fucking retarded. I don't understand how. I don't know how to make people understand. I can't. There's nothing else I can say.
Oh, I understand.
You're on a left. You're a guy in the Coliseum. You're fighting a dude who's ass fucking naked. who's a diabetic who's dying on the field with a sword trying to stab you and kill you, and meanwhile you're a dude with 2 tower shields and full plate mail, and you've got like a little patch on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh, we can't fight yet until we patch this thing up, and the guy in front of you is like barely breathing. It's so stupid. This strategy, they always have an attack vector.
You admit that you're not in the same, that both prisoners are not in the same position, and yet you're trying to use the rational way, which is by using the same type of method
They're not yet. No, but the position that we're in isn't that they are better. It's just that they're always on the attack.
Exactly.
And now you're calling for us to be more defensive, to defend more and more and more and more. Yes.
No, you're able to attack if you're unified. That's when you're able to attack, not when you're getting backstabbed constantly.
Sure. So you disavow, but you still need.
I think we can agree there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know what we disagree with apart from you just feel shameless if you don't do it, which is
the thing is, you think that like if you were to put 100% of effort into separating us from the tankies, which I think the Democratic Party should do, by the way, so we don't even disagree on that.
Yeah.
If we were to do that, the attacks from the Republican Party would go from 100 to 99.6. You seem to think that there's some basis in. The Republicans called Obama a communist for the entirety of his presidency.
Yeah, but no one believes that isn't an idiot. That was for the MAGA
no,
audience,
everybody on the right believed it. What are you talking about? They all believe that the Democrats are the party of socialism and communism.
Okay, MAGA, but let's say someone that's like right-leaning now, Joe Rogan. Does he believe Obama is a communist?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Who the fuck knows what he believes?
How big is Joe Rogan's base who are not full MAGA but are still right-leaning? They're still on the right.
I would rather
Most of them
have my
probably
dad
don't think of
cook
Obama as a communist either. You don't have to fight. MAGA are a lost cause. You now need to try and get people from the center-right to realize that the Republicans
I agree.
are not the Republicans
I agree.
of the past.
MAGA are lost cause. That's 98% of the Republican Party. So what we should do is build a strong left, build a strong liberal party. That's what we should do. And that doesn't start by disavowing everything that the Republic. But that starts with you determining yourself, what your values are, what you believe in, and then building on that. Not looking to the right and go, okay, well, who's the right attacking today? Oh, trans people? Okay, well, you got to disavow the crazy trans people. Who are they attacking? Oh, they're still attacking the crazy trans people. Oh, and the socialist communists? We got to disavow them next. Okay. Oh, now who are they attacking? Oh, shit.
No.
That's what you're saying. Yes, you're letting them.
But
this is the whole.
How can you have values if you do not disavow the radical left? How can you build values?
Because the disavowal is a byproduct of the movement that you build. It's not a focus. You don't build a movement to reject tankies. You build a strong liberal movement that is a byproduct of what it believes in, rejects tankies. It just happens. And you should also like verbally affirm this and everything as well and draw distinctions. Again, I agree with this. Again, I've been doing this for the past fucking year, right? But you can't live in the criticisms of your opponent. That's what they've done for that's why they've been so successful. And again, if you want a successful movement, I would argue to some extent MAGA's been incredibly successful. They're not doing any of the things that you suggest. They never disavow. They never recognize fault. What? What did they disavow at the beginning?
They disavowed the far right until they started getting more popular.
When did they disavow the far right ever? What?
Like in the 2010s-ish?
In the 2010s, they spent the majority of their movement in capital. Jordan Peterson and all these people were arguing that Nazis weren't even far right. They relabeled them as socialists.
No. But the electorate, like during Obama's period, most people were not like the people now that are saying that and are now actually Republicans. They weren't actually that they are now. Like they were much more liberal, they believe much more progressive. Become increasingly radical, become increasingly fascist, increasingly native.
Jesus.
All because they started getting more powerful, and then they started, through the domination of the media, they started just slowly putting in more radical information. It wasn't like this before.
It wasn't like this before, I agree, but part of their strategy has been attack. It's never been disavowing. I don't know where this disavowal thing comes from.
Well, if they didn't believe in it at first, then they would have disavowed it, and they did disavow it. I mean, Nick Fuentes was disavowed. I mean, he's becoming crazy popular on the right now. That would never happen 10 years ago. That would never happen 15 years ago. Never. And I think we can agree on that.
I don't know if I would agree on that. Al Gore literally had his election.
Nick Fuentes?
I don't know. Al Gore literally had his election fucking forfeited to him. Donald Trump could barely disavow. I don't even know if he did. Disavow the fucking Ku Klux Klan leader. Meanwhile, the left has to disavow every single fucking. I remember when they talked about the fucking Weather Underground was associated with Obama. I remember all the old fucking Obama conspiracies.
Yeah,
remember you're saying disavow. One of the biggest attack vectors on Obama was fucking. It wasn't Farrakhan. What was the name of it? Was it was his preacher in his church. They started listening to his sermons. and I remember that whole God bless America, God damn America, the chickens have come home to roost. And then you would be on here on my stream saying next, oh, well, we should be disavowing crazy pastors. It never ends. There's an infinite amount of material for people to attack.
That's super esoteric. I mean,
listen, you're young or you're in another country. I lived and breathed this stuff. It was not esoteric. I heard that clip played a million fucking times. The chickens have come home to roost. God damn America. I heard that played so many times. This and a million other attacks against Obama.
Yep. Yeah, on right-wing media, I don't think the normie really cares about these things. The normie isn't that into politics. I mean, you know this for sure. The average person just doesn't care. If you can just show that you're a part of your principles, you get rid of the radicals so you can see the accountability that the far right.
For the average person who doesn't care, you just stand on strong liberal principles. The average person doesn't know what the fuck a tanky is or a Marxist-Leninist is. You don't have to disavow.
When the average person sees Charlie Kirk get murdered and every single social media platform being filled with it's all the trans, it's the left, the Dems. Yeah, that's going to radicalize them, or at least going to push them.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with us disavowing tankies.
Well, it can, because then you can see the accountability, of course.
To what?
To the radical left, so that.
What does the radical left even have to do with this right now?
Well, the right wing use so when the right wing attacks you, it's because they first claim victimhood and they say it's in self-defense. They're lying, but they say it's in self-defense. And then they always point to examples. The examples they point to is always the radical left, and they try
what's the first example that they pointed to? The first example they pointed to was that it was a trans shooter. That was incorrect. Then they tried to make it sound like it was some fucking terrorist-trained super soldier guy. That was incorrect.
Yeah, you just proved my point. They're trying to always point it to someone on the radical left.
Yes, but it's working even when the reality isn't there to support it. It still worked. That first day or two of huge media was still really effective, even though they were literally talking about nothing. Donald Trump came out the same day and blamed the radical left before we even know who the shooter was.
Yeah, so if you completely erase the Democrat Party from that position, you won't be scathed. You won't be harmed.
But there is no Democratic Party supporting trans radical shooters.
I know, but they try and point it as if you make it super open. The issue is that the left media is so fractured. The left media is, a lot of it is dominated, unfortunately, by the radical left, by the Hassan Pikers.
The left media is fractured, and I agree, but it's fractured because they're so cucked. The firing of Chris Dodd is more of a condemnation, or Matthew Dodd, or whatever the fuck the guy is more of a condemnation of left media than the retarded fuckwits at WAPO and New York Times interviewing fucking Hassan Piker. Like the reason why the media on the left is fractured is because of what you're saying. It's because they don't want to have Trump derangement syndrome, and they're trying so hard to be critical of themselves and disavow the crazies and to be fair and balanced. Meanwhile, on the right, they don't give a fuck about any of that. It's because all of them are practicing your strategy. That's why they fired the guy 2 days ago.
I mean, listen, it is just bad optics what he said during that time because everyone believes in dominated right media. I mean, I can understand why they did that for the organization's sake, even though he probably shouldn't have been fired.
So instead of firing the guy because it's dominated by right-wing media, how about everybody defends the guy and they just start rolling clips of some of the insane shit Charlie Kirk has said over the past few years?
Exoskeleton activated.
Yeah, that works perfectly. That works perfectly, but the right will always blame the radical left.
Then let them do it. Then fight on your own side. Fight aggressively instead of trying to patch every single possible attack vector.
How are you going to fight if you're fractured?
You're fractured because you're not fighting.
No, you think it's cocked to disavow the radical left. I think it's the opposite. I think it's not cocked. I think you're cocked if you keep on not disavowing radical left. You keep on allowing them to fuck you over every day, to destroy your messaging every day. That is the cocked position. If you don't get them out fast, you don't get them out in a strong way, you don't condemn them as hard as possible, you are being cocked by them. They will eventually infiltrate your party and they will take over.
Okay, we'll see what happens, I guess.
All right, thanks, man.
Be careful.
See ya.
Clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate. Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
He's talking about the other family member, not the shooter guy right now, or?
The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating the need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to a visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets, and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact.
It would be interesting to see this whole chat. I don't know if they would ever release that much information, but.
Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and we have that as well. And I'll share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored.
Jesus.
The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We indebted to law enforcement across the state who's worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I'll now turn the microphone over to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Disagrees.
Did you first come across him as a student on a campus? Is that how you knew him?
My story is actually a bit more complicated than that. I met him when I was.
Wait, why do I know this guy?
Let's reestablish homeostasis.
Wait, wait. Have we talked to this guy on Discord? Oh, Jubilee. Okay.
14 years old. I was invited to a conference they did in Washington, D.C. called the Young Black Leadership Summit, where they invited black leaders from across the country to hear from various thought leaders, and then even hear from the President of the United States in the White House. This was in 2018 when I was 14 years old, and it was kind of a shock to me because I always thought politics was hey, you have to be over 18, you have to go to college, you have to do a whole lot of things before you're allowed to get involved. But he and his organization reached out to me and said, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, whether you're black, you're white, or even if you disagree or agree with us, we want to invite you out here. We want you to hear what we have to say, and we want to hear what you have to say. And from then on, I knew that Turning Point USA and the conservative movement was where I wanted to be.
He did say some things that were, again, I can't stress enough, and I've repeated it since 1 o'clock when I came on air, none of these are reasons for anybody to be shot. I can't say that often enough. He did, though, challenge to the point of almost goading people about sex, whether it was to do with trans ideology, whether it was contraception, abortion. He said on one occasion, in a discussion about the nature of Islam, he said, therefore, if we agree that in the conversation I saw, if we agree that it is not a religion that can coexist with freedom, these aren't my words, this is what he said, we should ban all Muslims from the United States. That isn't, I would argue, that isn't constructive debate, is it? That is really pushing very hard against a very large sector of the world's population, let alone the US's population. Is that wise?
It's emblematic that on the 24th anniversary of September 11th, an event that changed the world and changed my country, changed my life before I was even born. I've never lived in a world without the Twin Towers gone, without the 3,000 people that were killed in those attacks. I've never even lived in the same world as them. It was events like that, but even beyond that, the numerous mass shootings that have taken place, the rise and fall of ISIS, thankfully the fall at the hands of President Donald Trump, that we saw radical Islam and numerous other issues like that, and so large
Absolutely, and you get no argument from me. You get no argument from me that they are that radical, violent, political Islamism and no talk with that. But that isn't what all Muslims are, either in the US or anywhere else.
Of course not. Definitely not. However, and that's where the nuance that comes into play, where you have to understand that, for one, Charlie will never advocate for any religion being completely and totally banned. That's never really been something he said. I know for a fact because I've been to every single Turning Point conference, and I've been following Charlie for a long time and a watcher of Charlie's content for a very long time, as well as a personal friend of his.
Wait, why was I linked this? Who linked this? What was the point of this?
But what we are always talking about are the radical offshoots of this, especially when it comes to those that are willing to go out there and take lives. That's something we completely and totally disagree with, and that is what Charlie's speaking of each and every time. It's not that he, for instance, if we want to take this to a different issue, the transgenderism issue. He's not saying, for instance, some people try to call him a Nazi or say that, he's going to call for transgenderism to be rounded up and put in camps. That is not a thing that Charlie would ever call for. He will get to the crux of the issue and say transgenderism is a mental illness. He will get to the crux of the issue and say that people with it should seek help, and that, for instance, if you're under...
Seek help, but not help with a doctor for medication, because that's illegal now, right, in some places?
We should not allow doctors to mutilate your body. And that's a perspective...
mutilate your body. There it is. You know what America is, and you know what America's just found out they are? America is that annoying fucking drunk white girl who thinks that she can walk up to and not only talk shit to any guy she wants, but start slapping and hitting and smacking around any guy she wants. And then at some point, she pushes some dude too far, and then he smacks back. And it's like, hey, you can't act on him like this. At some point,
Where did this goddamn spider come from?
and I feel like America's gotten away with this. Every time I hear some fucking retard on the left or the right say, guys, it's just speech, it's just politics, it's just speech. It's just
May you live another day.
Politics is how you rule over other people. Politics is how you instill, like in law, or in the country, like your political agenda, the things that you want to dictate to other people's lives. Like this, it's just such a weirdly naive thing to be like, it's just words, it's just politics. Like it's not. It has impacts on people. You are betraying either the power or privilege that you have in some position by saying that. I'm gonna end up repeating this line a lot over the next 2 months.
That he has, and the perspective that I have, and that perspective applies completely.
A very large sector of the world's population, let alone the US's population. Was that wise? Was that wise?
It's emblematic that on the 24th anniversary of September 11th, an event that changed the world and changed my country, changed my life before I was even born. I've never lived in a world without the Twin Towers gone, without the 3,000 people that were killed in those attacks. I've never even lived in the same world as them. It was events like that, but even beyond that, the numerous mass shootings that have taken place, the rise and fall of ISIS, thankfully the fall at the hands of President Donald Trump, that we saw radical Islam and numerous other issues that I could spend a whole lot of time talking
absolutely,
on.
and you get no argument from me. You get no argument from me. You get no argument from me that they are that radical, violent, political Islamism. No truck with that. But that isn't what all Muslims are, either in the US or anywhere else.
Of course not. Definitely not. However, and that's where the nuance of it comes into play, where you have to understand that, for one, Charlie will never advocate for any religion being completely and totally banned. That's never really been something he said. I know for a fact because I've been to every single Turning Point conference, and I've been following Charlie for a long time and a watcher of Charlie's content for a very long time, as well as a personal friend of his.
Wait, why was I linked this? Who linked this? What was the point of this?
But what we are always talking about are the radical offshoots of this, especially when it comes to those that are willing to go out there and take lives. That's something we completely and totally disagree with, and that is what Charlie's speaking of each and every time. It's not that he, for instance, if you want to take this to a different issue, the transgenderism issue. He's not saying, for instance, some people try to call him a Nazi or say that, he's going to call for transgender people to be rounded up and put into camps. That is not a thing that Charlie would ever call for. He will get to the crux of the issue and say transgenderism is a mental illness. He will get to the crux of the issue and say that people with it should seek help, and that, for instance, if you're under...
Seek help, but not help with a doctor for medication, because that's illegal now, right, in some places?
We should not allow doctors to mutilate your body. And that's a perspective.
Mutilate your body. There it is. You know what America is, and you know what America has just found out they are? America is that annoying fucking drunk white girl who thinks that she can walk up to and not only talk shit to any guy she wants, but start slapping and hitting and smacking around any guy she wants. And then at some point, she pushes some dude too far, and then he smacks back. And it's like, hey, you can't act on Hinge like this. At some point, someone's going to smack you. And I feel like America has gotten away with this. Every time I hear some fucking retard on the left or the right say, guys, it's just speech, it's just politics, it's just speech. What do you mean it's just speech? It's just politics. Politics is how you rule over other people. Politics is how you instill, like in law or in the country, like your political agenda, the things that you want to dictate to other people's lives. Like this, it's just such a weirdly naive thing to be like, it's just words, it's just politics. Like it's not. It has impacts on people. You are betraying
Fucking transcript. More.
Can I smell? What? All right. Yo, you smell amazing. No, you get $100. Every person that I find wearing Carpe gets $100.
Fuck.
So there's been a lot of
Just to say to him to use his pen.
Absolutely.
Was
Greater than ever.
With her.
to kill Charlie Kirk.
Tyler Robinson.
What we should all did at some.
Was just like you.
Yeah, but what
everyone
you're
did
coming on?
Empire,
Do you
was
think
like
that I don't know what
that's
you're
what they
advising me to?
try and
I
do.
already this
Give them
by the way,
like
so many times.
The country to hear from various thought leaders and then even hear from the president of the United States in the White House. This was in 2018 when I was 14 years old, and it was kind of a shock to me because I always thought politics was a hey, you have to be over 18, you have to go to college, you have to do a whole lot of things before you're allowed to get involved. But he and his organization reached out to me and said it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, whether you're black, you're white, or even if you disagree or agree with us, we want to invite you out here. We want you to hear what we have to say, and we want to hear what you have to say. And from then on, I knew that Turning Point USA and the conservative movement was where I wanted to be.
He did say some things that were, again, I can't stress enough, and I've repeated it since 1 o'clock when I came on air. None of these are reasons for anybody to be shocked. I can't say that often enough. He did, though, challenge to the point of almost goading people about certain subjects, didn't he? Whether it was to do with trans ideology, whether it was to do with contraception, abortion. He said on one occasion in a discussion about the nature of Islam, he said, therefore, if we agree that in the conversation I saw, if we agree that it is not a religion that can coexist with freedom, these aren't my words, this is what he said, we should ban all Muslims from the United States. That isn't, I would argue, that isn't constructive debate, is it? That is really pushing very hard against a very large sector of the world's population, let alone the US's population. Was that wise? Was that wise?
It's emblematic that on the 24th anniversary of September 11th, an event that changed the world and changed my country, changed my life before I was even born. I've never lived in a world without the Twin Towers gone, without the 3,000 people that were killed in those attacks. I've never even lived in the same world as them. It was events like that. But even beyond that, the numerous mass shootings that have taken place, the rise and fall of ISIS, thankfully the fall at the hands of President Donald Trump, that we saw radical Islam and numerous other issues that I could spend a whole lot of time touching
absolutely.
on.
And you get no argument from me. You get no argument from me that they are that radical, violent, political Islamism. No truck with that. But that isn't what all Muslims are, either in the US or anywhere else.
Of course not. Yeah. Definitely not. However, and that's where the nuance of it comes into play, where you have to understand that, for one, Charlie will never advocate for any religion being completely and totally banned. That's never really been something he said. I know for a fact because I've been to every single Turning Point conference, and I've been following Charlie for a long time and a watcher of Charlie's content for a very long time, as well as a personal friend of his.
Wait, why was I linked this? Who linked me this? What was the point of this?
But what we are always talking about are the radical offshoots of this, especially when it comes to those that are willing to go out there and take lives. That's something we completely and totally disagree with, and that is what Charlie's speaking of each and every time. It's not that he, for instance, we want to take this to a different issue, the transgenderism issue. He's not saying, for instance, some people try to call him a Nazi or say that, he's going to call for transgender people to be rounded up and put into camps. That is not a thing that Charlie would ever call for. He will get to the crux of the issue and say transgenderism is a mental illness. He will get to the crux of the issue and say that people with it should seek help, and that, for instance, if you're under...
Seek help, but not help with a doctor for medication, because that's illegal now, right? In some places?
18, we should not allow doctors to mutilate your body. And that's a perspective.
Oh, mutilate your body. There it is. You know what America is? And you know what America has just found out they are? America is that annoying fucking drunk white girl who thinks that she can left or the right say, guys, it's just speech, it's just politics, it's just speech. What do you mean it's just speech? It's just politics. Politics is how you rule over other people. Politics is how you instill, like in law in a country, like your political agenda, the
Take a
things that you
breather,
want
little
to
bug,
dictate to other
as
people's
Ali
lives.
would say.
Like this, it's just such a weirdly naive thing to be like it's just words, it's just politics. Like it's not. It has impacts on people. You are betraying either the power or privilege that you have in some position by saying that. I'm gonna end up repeating this a lot over the next few months.
That he has, the perspective that I have, and that perspective applies completely importantly to Islam as well. We're not saying, hey, if you pray towards Mecca 5 times a day, we need to throw you in a camp. Nobody is saying that. That is evil. That is disgusting. And Charlie Kirk is
what is?
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us freedom@charliekirk.com. I want to draw your attention. On Friday, we had Aaron Friday on the program on Good Friday. A very powerful episode. I almost never re-listen to conversations. I re-listened to this one, and it is excellent. It's really, really good. It's called, let me get the exact title, an episode every American should listen to. It's really amazing. It's performing really well. It's on the Charlie Kirk podcast page. You can follow the QR code, download it, and listen to it. If you were busy on Friday or if you were in Mass, I totally understand. And her daughter, all of a sudden came home and said, I'm a boy. She said, what? And the whole assembly line, the conveyor belt, was started to grind. They wanted to give her cross-sex hormones. They wanted to give her testosterone therapy. They wanted to cut off her breasts. They wanted to do all these sorts of things. And these doctors do this without any thought whatsoever. Yeah, sure. Here's the script. Here's the clinic. Go here. Go for surgery. These doctors need to be put in prison quickly. We need to have a Nuremberg-style trial for every gender-affirming clinic doctor. We need it immediately.
Like, I'm sorry, but you're fucking retarded. But it's just speech. It's just politics. Fuck you.
Man of God, and he recognizes that there is some truth in what Islam has, even though there's some religious disagreements there. They understand that it is both religions aim to be a religion of peace, and it can be reflected poorly. Sometimes, there are some Christians out there that do poor things as well. Charlie would never say, hey, all Christians need to be thrown in camps. He would say, hey, we need to get to the crux of this issue and understand what pieces of this are promoting peace and what pieces of it are promoting arts, hate, and violence.
I don't know why I was like this, but Valhalla, brother, what do you got?
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are...
This is what happens when you let good cops be
Obliterated.
Is the dad will call and turn in the son? Okay.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk in honor of his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authority. The FBI has a certain role to play. We will play that role, and we will lead out the federal government. Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday.
Wow.
Arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilize these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed, that is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories at Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where, at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise.
Wow.
Thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent. We're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to create a full picture for the FBI. And leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time. When the
Wait, what is this? Does he say anything of value in this? Or hold on, somebody just DM me a thing that Rob Moore was talking about 2 years ago.
You have to give the Democrats and sort of the establishment a tip of the cap because they know how to control a narrative so much. You need to stop focusing on this attack of Paul Pelosi. It's terrible that he was attacked. I condemn all violence, political violence, and things of that nature, unless it's something in self-defense. But it doesn't appear that that's the case. We have no idea what the actual details of the story is. It seems strange and things like that. It's fine to talk about that. But let's be honest, the central point that the Democrats are making, including people like Biden, Obama, and others like that, is that this is a result of criticisms of the Democrats and the rhetoric of populists and conservatives that are upset with the way that the country's going. And that inspired this guy. There's no proof of that. And even if that did inspire this guy, don't play this game. The Democrats don't care when they inspire people to have assassination attempts of Brett Kavanaugh or to shoot Steve Scalise. They don't care when Lee Zeldin was attacked. They don't care when Rand Paul was attacked and they laugh at him. Stop playing the game. The more you talk about this, even if it does show that Paul Pelosi was up to something shady, that is beneficial to the Democrats because that's less you're talking about the insane crisis at the border and fentanyl overdoses, the crime rampage that's rampant through all these.
Attack base. 155 views though. Who the fuck watches? Some sort of hardcore Rob Moore fan.
The public.
But true.
Who had a right to demand such an expeditious.
Watch Cox's response at the end of the press briefing. Yeah, what does this guy say? Anything of value?
Solving of an investigation. The FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our
You
nation.
answered the call of the dad to turn in his son. What are you talking about, bro?
And we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader. I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is provide them the evidence they need, as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever's friend Charlie Kirk.
Wow, thanks.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this.
General of the Department of Justice, their unwavering support.
I feel like I'm watching like an award show. Like, thank you for my Oscar. I want to thank my production assistant. I want to thank the.
Preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's only half of who we have been. He said, always forgive your enemies.
Are there pictures of the bullets yet? You read off all these 4 things. I'm trying to look up all these socials and all these names that they're saying the shooter was dating that was trans. Literally none of it indicates being trans or even dating the shooter. We're being gaslit again. I don't know. I don't know if there's... I've seen like 3 different statements now about the dating a trans person thing. I don't know if that's true or if that's... Some people are saying it was just a roommate. Other people are saying he lived with his parents. Other people are saying it was a friend. I don't know.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country.
As a segment.
Please, Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please. I'm asking you. Please save me. Please save me. Please get these people away from me.
People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see.
See, this is the whole problem.
This is the whole problem. So he just listened to the president of the United States refuse to he literally said he didn't care about fixing the country. Oh, he's probably about to go off on a 45-second rant about how insane it is that the president of the United States was teed up to say the most basic human decency thing ever. And he fucked up. He failed the easiest QTE in the universe. And XQC is about to go off on Trump for failing to say, hey, wouldn't it be easy to say we should bring the country together? We do need people to calm down, right? Imagine if he just like started going off on like random Twitter accounts though.
The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see.
See, this is also a problem. You know what also is a problem? This tweet is a problem. This guy, yo, this can do this shit, right? These guys don't do this shit. They don't tweet better. This tweet is shit. Fox News, the head of this country, Trump, I consider that is not the fact. That is absolutely a complete misquote of what it was. He said, what? He doesn't care. He said, I consider less that this will...
Jesus.
Wait, what's that tweet?
Jesus.
Oh, wait.
I'm get it.
Fuck, I think it was just right there.
Fuck, man. Fuck.
What do we do about our country with that? Because we have radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime.
Oh, maybe actually that might have been what Trump meant there. But the following statement is just as bad. So he's saying, I couldn't care less. I understand that it's hard to listen to the stroke victim. But his next statement is basically lionizing right-wing crime or right-wing radicals and then condemning left-wing radicals. I don't think that the worst part of that quote isn't the I couldn't care less. But Trump might have actually meant that.
Was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, so X is right? No, X is not right. His statement beyond this is fucking insane.
But I couldn't care less.
Let's reestablish
The radicals
homeostasis.
on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime.
He's saying that the radicals on the right are basically justified and the radicals on the left are insane. That's what he's saying. That's a wild fucking statement to make.
I couldn't care less about fixing the country. Like, this is completely complete misconstruing the event in a good just.
This is the full VOD.
15K likes for this post, really? Well, defend it. You know, you see pretty rage quit. Why I didn't defend it? I mean, I don't know. That's great. That's clickbait. That is clickbait. That is clickbait. I was gonna get my second phone to fucking depot some money. That bro, I was spinning some slots and I had no money left. So I went upstairs and I got some more money. Here's what it is. Yo, I paused.
What XQC went off on was right. No, because the reaction that he had was implying that the entire message and general substance of the tweet was fake. The answer of I couldn't care less, this is technically incorrect, but on the substance, what he says afterwards is correct. I interpreted this differently when I first heard it as well. But also, if it was Biden, we would just say, like, oh, it's because he can't speak because he's fucking retarded, but Trump gets infinite passes, I guess, on his inability to construe a sentence without being a fucking retard.
Pause the debate for something more important. Money. Buddy?
Protein is essential.
What? Is that not a valid reason? He posts libs of TikTok. Isn't that one of the biggest accounts on Twitter? Question mark. So, some value the White House and how Epstein files in hand. Maybe one of the biggest, last most influential public. Yeah, on the right, as I mentioned, one of these examples of social media influencers.
Oh, that's a good term. We need to start using that more. Cuck lighting. It's more cuck lighting if you think they actually care about the tweet. Don't take the bait. That's true, right? This is cuck lighting. Will you pretend that you give a fuck about the... It's funny, too, that the guy could be technically incorrect on the sentence inaccuracy, but he's still correct in what he's saying on the substance, because Trump is saying that the right is essentially righteous in their anger and the left isn't.
Which is the running away or the worm? Both are pretty good. Bro, I didn't say any dumb shit. I made some valid points that were never addressed. Yep, this thing has some good points, but a lot of the arguments are just mostly based off of just personal opinion and personal worldviews. I don't believe in the cycle. Whatever some guy does something do bad. I don't believe in the cycle of because somebody is doing something. I don't believe in it. It's a world view. It is a world view thing. It has nothing to do with anything. There's no fact about it. It's a world view. World view. Also, I gotta keep it about that.
Okay. Why can't you just say that in the optic of what X said he was right, the message was misleading and rewriting the context? Not really. The message was incorrect, but it encapsulates essentially what Trump was saying. The reason why I'm not going to sit here and optics cuck is because you're doing your cuck lighting, is because you're taking a sentence and you're trying to find the minor inaccuracy, and then the response is, what the response should be was the response that I just had. Oh, I think that actually is inaccurate. I don't think he read the sentence right. And then you listen to the rest, and then if it's completely 180ing the statement, then you say, oh, this is fucked up. Not good. This is a fucked up tweet. But if you listen to the rest, you go like, oof, this is actually even worse than the tweet implied. To sit here and act like you should have a huge blowout over, oh, I can't believe they got the phrase on Twitter, is fucking, that makes you a retarded fucking tool, okay? That's it. If you don't want him to react like that, then don't selectively quote that shit. X is right to go by the exact words of what Trump is saying. The clipper who clipped that is guilty as fucking validating the right-wing narratives of Trump simply being misunderstood. I hope you're on the other end in the Civil War, my friend. What a fucking retard. This is also the most cucked. Also, report that shit to me if you see it. If you ever see somebody say the retarded shit of, guys, this is what's totally justifying what they say on the right. This is fucking ban him. Ban this person from your life. Don't even talk to these people. They're deeply unserious, and they all fucking voted for Trump anyway. These are like your tally clones in real life, right? When you look to the right and you see every single person being like, Civil War, and then you look to the left and there's one guy who like misquotes like a tweet, but the substance is correct. Like, this is why the right is doing what they're doing, guys. Fuck these people. These people are losers, okay? They're not part of your political movement. They shouldn't even be part of your fucking life, okay? Find somebody different to talk to. Holy shit, it's so cucked and cringe.
Personal perspective of the world is, hold on, is that it is an alternate world entirely. What people do, what people say, what they post, and what officials, elected officials, influencers say. If you combine all the influencers and all the big people of it.
Do you think he's aware of his cuck lighting? I used to be more a centrist, but in the back of my mind, I knew that I was stretching to find a good faith interpretation. No, he doesn't think so, because he thinks it generally is the same on both sides. But this guy is a slave to his Twitter algorithm. Like, this guy was arguing with me that Gavin Newsom never condemned the violence in LA, right? He was, I think there was
the fuck?
As well, there were two different things he was trying to argue that just factually weren't true. They never happened. Or something it did happen, and he said it didn't happen. I don't remember the second thing. But it's like, this just wasn't the case. But it's because he's only seen what right-wing people, what Asshole Operator and what Brandon Habanero sauce and his urethra are fucking tweeting constantly into his fucking Twitter feed, or programming right into his brain, or what Roachman Gold are putting right into his fucking brain.
Either side, you have maybe a few millions likes on their posts made overall, right? A few million likes, right? I'm not kidding. You compare all the biggest posts of all of them on Twitter, the biggest posts about the event that happened, you're talking about hundreds of millions of likes. And you're going to say that these accounts direct all the masses? Dude, that's crazy.
I'm going to show you where to find a spine nub in Grounded 2. So in order to find these, one spot is right here, around 1820. I assume the same time, but maybe it's not. This guy roams. He's not here all the time. I know he's here right now. I don't know if it's 100% based on the time or not, but he's here right now.
All the caterpillars.
They do whatever they want. The cool line as
company
set up.
Is that a kid?
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else to watch.
This isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find. There's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Ridge dropped...
You're, like, Dean, you're a white cishet man. I don't think white people get it. I don't think white people will ever be able to get it. I don't think white people understand what it feels like to, on a day-to-day basis, see people who look like you die.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I think all that I'm saying here, and like this is the position, is that I just...
It's so funny that he can't be mean because he's so cucked to his whiteness.
And I don't think that a white person has the moral high ground to be saying, this is to be condemned, and this is not to be condemned, because you just don't understand it, right? So I'm not excusing unaliving, by the way. I just wanted to say, I don't condemn it. I mean, I condemn it. I don't condone it, right? I'm not going to sit here and celebrate. Even on my lives, I clearly said I won't celebrate it. But at the end of the day, if a black person comes to me and celebrates it, I'm not going to condemn them. And I'm black. And I don't understand why white people always feel entitled to tell black and brown people how we should feel and how we should react to harm caused to us. Because, like, you're, like, Dean, you're a white cishet man. At the end of the day, the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk was spreading does not impact you. Like, you're not directly going to be harmed by it or impacted by it. So, I don't get why white people in general...
The fuck?
They are in control to tell a black or brown person how they should be reacting to their own oppressor or to their own consumer.
Well, I mean, I think in the sense of like you saying that like you probably shouldn't react in such a way.
Yes,
like,
say
go out and like celebrate like the glorification, political violence, and things like that. I get like, the aspect of this where we're talking about the fact that individuals are going to feel some level of relief because we had a proponent of very hateful rhetoric which materialized in harm. Now stop that hateful rhetoric materializing in harm.
In trouble.
I get why that's something that's okay? That rhetoric ceased, okay? That fact on its own, I understand. I understand. Rhetoric existing that perpetuates oppression, see rhetoric not existing that perpetuates oppression. That is my usher in some sense, okay? But I think, once again, where like, my issue lies, and I feel like we've been over this a couple times, isn't there. My issue lies within, like, as we've already talked about a handful of times, the celebration of the point of someone going from a life that in a violent manner killed a family and 1,000 people. Like I don't know. Maybe like I'm really trying here. I swear to God, I'm really trying here. And once again, where I set is at the fact, I had the reaction I did. If you're out there and you're not feeling like super sad, like okay, like whatever. I'm not gonna judge you. But it's more so within like the glorification and the justification of the act of political execution. I can't agree with that. I can't.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
maybe
okay.
Maybe this is just like
this is
a disagreement.
A blind spot. A disagreement, a blind spot, and like I don't think a white person can get it. Like when you said like you understand the violence that his rhetoric could cause, a white person is never gonna get that. And I think like that is a blind spot that as a white person, you would like never ever be able to actually fully understand. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, right? You live within a society where you don't
Dana's getting radicalized right now.
have to think about those things, right? You live within a
He's typing in
society that
Long John Broker.
centers you, that
30-06 space Mauser.
caters to you. You don't have to think about how you're going to be subjected to that level of violence. So no, I don't think white people get it. I don't think white people will ever be able to get it. I don't think white people understand what it feels like to, on a day-to-day basis, see people who look like you die in the most...
On a day-to-day basis, like, I want to say, depending on what words you're following, you probably could see that.
brutal manner, and the whole world just shrugging. I don't think white people get the fact that when you go to school, you are more likely to be suspended or expelled for simply existing within a black body.
Damn it.
The whole world views you as a criminal, or as if something is wrong with you, or as if you have to make yourself a little but smaller because you shouldn't even be here in the first place. You should be grateful to be alive in the first place, right? I don't think people get that. You do not get that. Nobody gets that. If you are not black, you don't live life as a black person, you do not get that, right?
Fuck.
So, even if a person who's able to
Fuck, man. Jesus Christ. All these motherfuckers jumping me and shit.
within a society that caters to you specifically, right? So you will never ever be able to actually get the violence that black people are being subjected to on a regular basis. And the issue that I have here is, if a person can never ever fully grasp and comprehend and
Where the
understand
fuck do my healing things keep going?
I think they have a right to condemn the marginalized and how they react, and also determine how the marginalized should be reacting.
Well, I think all that I'm saying here, and like this is the position, is that I just...
It's so funny that he can't be mean because he's so cucked to his whiteness.
I personally like think it's wrong to uplift, celebrate, and like celebrate, the public execution that we saw. I personally can't celebrate it. I can't.
Yeah, but like, I'll tell you how like crazy like my day was, right? I had random like Zionists come up on my panel and call me evil. I had random white people who were bigoted.
The average black person now, a TikToker? Let me tell you how horrible my day was. Zionists called me evil on TikTok.
Who said slurs at the same time calling me evil and saying that I was apathetic. Like the amount of and I was not even saying I was condoning this, right? I didn't say that. I even had people who threatened me, who told me that I was next, who gave me death threats in my DMs and also in my chat, right? But the amount of people who felt like they had the audacity, the goal, the gumption to tell me how I should feel, how I should react, how I should make myself smaller to make them comfortable. And I feel like in 2025, like I'm in my 20s, right? I reached an age where I don't think that I have to minimize myself for the comfort of especially white people. And I don't think any black people need to be doing that. And if condoning or celebrating the death of a whitey nationalist makes a white...
I feel like people like this go through their daily life like praying to God that some white person calls them a racial slur. Like they pray to God, like they're waiting for it. They're so excited for the day that it finally happens. They're like carry around like a recorder hoping that somebody does it. Like, oh my God, I have something to talk about for the next 6 months. Oh my God, please.
The mayor is a very liberal person, was not in favor of this, and now all of a sudden she's being praised by the people in the community. Everybody wants, who doesn't want it to happen? Like in Chicago, if you took a poll, do you want to have no crime, or do you want to walk outside and get mugged or killed? I mean, they're losing 6, 7, 8, 9 people every week, and 30 or 40 are being shot. That's worse than Afghanistan. That's worse. There's no city like that. We hear about places like Afghanistan's so terrible. They don't have anything like that. When I had to tell in front of the president of Poland, the press, we had one of the media scrums and they're screaming and everything. We're in the Oval Office, and I had to say, I'm pleased to report that nobody was shot, nobody was killed this week. And he's like, is that good? I mean, he's like, what are you talking? No, they don't have people shot every week, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a different thing. We're doing great. We'd love to save Chicago. We don't want to go into a hostile By the way, the people will
Save Chicago with the military? That's not how that works.
greet us. Right. But you know, they are professional agitators. They're professional. I had one the other night. I went into a restaurant, and this woman stood up. I looked at her immediately. She had money. She wasn't serious. They get paid for it. They're professional from Soros and other people. And we're going to look into Soros because I think it's a RICO case against him and other people. Because this is more than like protests. This is real.
What the
agitation.
fuck?
This is riots on the street. And
What the fuck are we talking about? George Soros? What? Hello? Is it 2016 again?
We're going to look into
What
that.
do we do about our country with that? Because we have radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem, and they're vicious.
Like, this is like a call to violence. This is a support for right-wing terrorism. It's basically a call to continue on, right? You're like, violence isn't bad. It's bad violence. That's bad. Righteous violence is usually celebrated. This is like a call for basically righteous violence. People on the right rise up when they're tired of crime, when they're tired of these, you know, crazy, horrible leftists who are just trying to destroy our country. Like, that's just that's just an unbelievable statement to make.
Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone, they want open borders. The worst...
Like, imagine in the same breath as saying, like, you know, so Charlie Kirk was just assassinated, one of the largest political figures, influencer types, whatever the fuck you want to call it, organizers in the United States right now. And then in the next breath, you're talking about trans swimmers again. Like, what? Like, this is the Republican machine at work. It's to get you as upset as possible. It's to constantly make you mad and angry at everything. Like, there are going to be people marching in the next Civil War upset about trans people.
Thing that happened to this country, because I've already solved inflation, costs it down to energy costs. You're going to have $2 gasoline pretty soon. I've solved just about every problem. The worst thing that happened to our country is when we let 25 million people in, many of which, and I say 80%, should not be in our country.
Did you say 25 million now? I thought it was 20 million before. Or is it increasing somehow? Or is Biden still sneaking them in?
Energy costs. You're going to have $2 gasoline pretty soon. I've solved just about every problem. The worst thing that happened to our country is when we let 25 million people in, many of which, and I say...
Is it okay, it's 25 million now. Okay. So the investment in our country is always increasing, but so are the illegal immigrants that came in are also retroactively increasing?
80% should not be in our country. They emptied their prisons into our country. They emptied their mental institutions, insane asylum. You don't know what that is. That's seriously, you know what that is? A mental institution on steroids, okay? They emptied out insane asylums, crazy people, into our country by the millions. And it's the hardest thing. You know, we have a border now that's totally secure. Nobody came in. Think of that. They actually had asked nobody. We used to have millions of people come in. Nobody came in. And we back up the border with the military. We've done a great job. But the worst thing that happened to our country is to allow millions of people in from jails, mental institutions, drug dealers. Right. They threw them all into our country. And these stupid people, and some of them are stupid in terms of common sense, but they're brilliant in other ways. Biden wasn't calling the shots. It was the geniuses that surrounded, radical left geniuses that surrounded him on the, unfortunately, he used the Resolute desk. That's the one I used. I hated that he used it, but he used it. But they called the shots, and he didn't do anything. Look at what happened. The auto pen signed everything. He wasn't aware of anything that was being signed. It's so illegal.
Let out killers from prison, and he doesn't even know.
They took the unselect committee that, you know, investigated stuff. It found out that we were right and everything. They burned all the information because we
This
were...
is all just lies. He's talking about the January 6th Select Committee. This idea that they burned all the evidence or didn't... Like, I mean, you guys saw me study this topic for 3, 4, 5 months. There are thousands of pages of deposition, hundreds of hours of interviews. All of it is available, unless they've unhosted it now. But you can go and it's all there. It's like the final report is like 960-some pages. Like, all of it's there. It's just a fucking lie.
So, apparently if you break the new camera bar on the iPhone 17 and you don't have Apple Care, that will cost you around $200–500 to fix. And here's the problem. Most iPhone cases leave the camera bar exposed, meaning if you drop it flat on its back or set it down on rough concrete, that camera bar, gone. This is the new Limitless 7.0 case from Mouse with reinforced corners,
Can I upgrade this now?
polycarbonate frame around the camera bar, unlike cheap Amazon cases that flex and crack, won't move. So your screen and your camera stay protected from direct impact, face up or face down. No chunky edges, just sleek, functional design. At its core is Mouse's AirShock technology that absorbs and spreads out energy upon impact, so your iPhone Doesn't have to. With a built-in array of magnets, it's perfectly made for MagSafe. Charger, wallet, mount, whatever you snap on it, it's not going anywhere. The new 5-part camera control button is engineered to work seamlessly with Apple's design. And with 11 variations to choose from, it's built to match not just your phone, but your style. So yeah, other iPhone cases might seem cheaper at first, but at repair bills, and you might as well buy another phone. While Limitless 7.0, it protects, it fits, and it survives the kind of drops that would wreck your iPhone otherwise.
Completely fine though!
The choice is yours.
Woo!
Right on everything. Nancy Pelosi knew. I told her, I said, I'll give you 10,000 troops. January 6th, I'll give you 10,000 troops if you'd like. No, we don't want them. Oh, well, they found out that was true. They found out it was true. They burned everything. And Biden gave them a pardon. He gave these people in the committee, Congress people.
That's not true. But...
He gave them a pardon.
Not really.
And it's so, what they did, what he did to this country will live in infamy. So what he did is, and I say, Lawrence, I say what he and his people, because he was up sleeping most of the time, he should not have been president.
Mr. President, I remember we talked to you the next day after they tried to assassinate you, the first time. And
oh my God, are they trying to not sane wash him, but they're trying to actually get him like, President, can't you just like tell people to chill out? Hold on.
It changed you. And you talked about your faith and how the American people, they're shaking this morning over Charlie Kirk, the school shootings that are happening. What do you say to those people that are hurting this morning?
Well, I tell politicians, and I have a lot of friends that are Democrats. You know, there's some normal Democrats too, not too many. But I have some friends, and I've been called by Democrats and everything else. They're equally concerned also. You know, it's them too. They don't want to go out in a public space and start. And I say something pretty simple. You got to do it. You got to protect as much, but you got to do it. I have the advantage of having hundreds of guys around me, you know, as president, but they don't have that advantage. They could be a congressman, or they could be. Look at Steve Scalise, a great guy. Look what happened to him. If he didn't have those two very brave people around, you know, they would have all been killed. All those congressmen would have been killed. But yet 3 of them badly hurt, and Steve was really badly hurt. I really say, I'm a little bit of a fatalist. I guess I say, got to do your thing, or get out of the business and go into something.
I just want to say that I am unbelievably fucking shocked that he just used the word fatalist. I would have never expected him to have that word in his vocabulary. Wow. You just got like 7 IQ points in my head higher than, good job. I wonder if that came from the deep recesses of his rotting mind.
It's a dangerous business, and frankly, it always has been. It always has been. My job's very dangerous. If you would have told me this, maybe I wouldn't have done it, Brian. If Brian would have called me up, you know, it's interesting. It's you look at the stats on presidents, it's the most dangerous career you can have.
Right.
Kennedy, Lincoln, McKinley, you can go down the list. But I chose to do it. I love doing it because we're going to make America great again. It's happening.
I think a fatalist is like, imagine the boomer way of saying black pilled.
So look at the stock market. We've had the stock market hitting record highs every day. Never been higher. People, last night at the Yankee game, the cops are coming over to me. I love the police here. I love them all over the place, frankly. Sir, you've made me look like a genius. My wife finally respects me. My 401k is through the roof. He said, she thinks I'm a financial genius. I made him into a financial genius.
By the way, we just got word there's going to be a press conference at 9 o'clock. Judge Patel's going to be there, I guess, to give more details on what you told us, and that is, we got the guy, you guys got the guy, and he's in custody, and he's alive. And he was turned in by friends and families confirmed it. So is the message, too, to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have...
Oh, they're trying so hard. Okay, here you go. You're getting so many layups. President, please tell your people to calm the fuck down. Okay, sorry. We got one more.
To the right, I have friends and families confirmed it.
Here, he'll do it.
Is the message, too, to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter
That's where to go.
But unfortunately, we don't have so many ballot boxes because they have mail-in voting, which is totally rigged. You know, there are a lot of problems. I like ballot.
Bro! It's so easy. It's so easy. What do you just tell people to not fucking kill each other? Please, hello? He's gonna bring it back. Sorry.
Families confirmed it. So
there's got to be like a live face reaction. Like, President, don't you tell these people to stop? And he's like, they need to win hard. And it's like, whoa. At the ballot box. Oh, but it's rigged. Whoa. Jesus.
Is the message, too, to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter
That's where to go.
But unfortunately, we don't have so many ballot boxes because they have mail-in voting, which is totally rigged. You know, there are a lot of problems. I like ballot boxes where they do mail-in voting all over the place, which is rigged. Anytime, Jimmy Carter, they had a commission. He said, anytime you have mail-in voting, it's a crooked election, okay? And they got to stop. But I can't really say at the ballot box because in some cases, like California, doesn't have ballot.
Okay, so he said we should take revenge to conservatives at the ballot box, but we can't do it at the ballot box. So he's going to give us another alternative. Okay, maybe at the mail-in voting box.
Ballot boxes. They send out 38 million ballots. Nobody knows where the hell they're going. Then they come back. Democrats get more than Republicans. Right. It's so unfair, the system, and we're going to fix this system.
What are you going to do about President?
That's it? Oh, okay. So then they should be violent. Good. Heard you loud and clear. By the way, when President Donald Trump was asked to disavow the Proud Boys, President Donald Trump, his statement was,
stand back and stand by.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do
specifically
that,
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left because,
like, these are crazy statements. He said this, and then what was their response on Parler? Joe Biggs. Trump basically said to go fuck them up. This makes me so happy. Enrique Tarrio, standing by, sir. Joe Biggs. President Trump told the Proud Boys to stand by because someone needs to deal with Antifa. Well, sir, we are ready. Joe Biggs, Proud Boys, shout out at the presidential debate. That's what Trump said. That's what they heard. And then that's what they did when they made a whole ass fucking plan to break into the fucking Capitol. And when you look at the videos of who the first people into the Capitol were, who was it? It was at 10 a.m. The first group of Proud Boys gathered near the Washington Monument, about 100 of them. At 10:30 a.m., is this a video? Oh no, these are all from the indictment. They start marching towards the Capitol. At 12:53, they are the first people to break through the perimeter. And the first person who breaks into the Capitol is Dominic Pizzola, who is a Proud Boys member. He was the first person in. You can see videos of him bashing it with the fucking stolen shield. And then after all of this, Donald Trump pardons all of them. This is like, you will never have a clearer through line than that. From disavow the neo-Nazis that are following your movement. No, I will tell them to stand back and stand by. And then they will post on social media, standing back and standing by. And then they will create a plan to enact a violent riot, which they did. And then they will follow through with it, which they did, which is documented across tweets on all their signal chats and in video evidence. And then they will be charged with seditious conspiracy, which they were, and then they will be tried in court, which they were, and then they will be convicted, which they were, and then Donald Trump will come in office and pardon all of them. Pardoning people who were convicted of seditious conspiracy, where the seditious conspiracy was to overthrow the government so that you could remain in power, which you called on them to do on a public stage. Like, there will never be, and then people want to say, what about when this random TikTok account
Hey, it's Adam with Vantage. All right, so what you've just seen me do is demonstrate how our laser strike system here works. This little laser bullet allows you to train from the comfort of your home safely without having to spend time or money going to the range and on ammo. So if you're the kind of person who's not actively shooting 500 rounds a week training, then this thing is for you. And stick around, I'm going to show you something really cool about what happens for anybody who buys one of these systems today. The laser strike system is right here.
streaming. Amazing.
Donald Trump dies of a fucking stroke, I think they're just going to lose a ton of momentum. If they say, oh, violence, or this, like this is very similar to what they were doing post-Trump assassination, and yet post that, like absolutely nothing escalated to a degree that I think anyone is expecting when people are crying out civil war, because it's they're fucking pussies, everyone forgets, and this stuff like goes into the wayside. Like if you truly believe, like I don't believe this, that we are in an existential moment in such that we cannot solve this electorally, then yeah, I would tell people, yeah, I don't even need to de-escalate. You should go get arms and we should go fight in the streets, but we're not even close to that yet. Like that might happen.
Yet, have they? If they say that, then maybe I'll start saying that.
What do you mean somebody got fucking 360 no-scope sectum sempret avada kedavra by a fucking runaway son of a horror, okay? Bro got fucking avada kedavra by a fucking by a renegade Death Eater. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so right, if there's what?
No, can continue.
Yeah, if they're saying things such as, "Hey, let us crack down. Let's throw these people in camps. Let's like take guns away from trans people." It's like, okay, are we going to start advocating for that, or are we just saying, "Hey, are we going to say I'm not doing stochastic terrorism, but I'm not going to denounce people that do a terrorism until you do it"? Like, what is this accomplishing if one, you and I both acknowledge this is not going to change their minds, and two, in your prisoner's dilemma, you've got people on the right who are calling for violence, and then people on the left who are meeting them there, but then all these people in the middle who are not part of this prisoner's dilemma, who are like the 66% of people, I guess, according to Pew Research, who says politics is way too volatile right now, and are screaming and begging for a fucking solution. And now an entire side of people are like, actually, no, there's nothing for you to look out for. Everyone is extreme. We're all calling for violence. We will refuse to denounce it. Like,
I've been with my partner for 20 years this year, and let me tell you, relationships aren't easy. Even as a therapist, I've learned that loving someone for the long haul means working on yourself just as much as working.
Where the hell is this?
I'll share a few tips that have made a big difference in my relationship.
Why does it say I have that?
Communication isn't just about talking, it's about listening, really listening. Sometimes we're so busy defending ourselves that we miss what the other person is actually saying. Second, compromise doesn't mean giving up your needs. It's finding balance. We're all people with value. And finally, therapy. Therapy has saved my relationship more times than I can count, especially during tough moments. It gave me the tools to understand myself better, which allowed me to show up for my partner in a healthier way. That's why I always encourage others to seek support. And BetterHelp.
Where the fuck is this shit?
With over 30,000 licensed therapists, BetterHelp connects you with someone that truly understands your needs. All online, so you can work on yourself from anywhere. And if the first therapist isn't a fit, you can switch anytime, no extra cost. Over 5 million people worldwide have used BetterHelp to strengthen their relationships with themselves and others. Visit BetterHelp.com and start building the relationships you deserve. Because love doesn't have to be perfect, but it can still be healthy.
The 10th Anniversary Grand Voyage is an extended celebration packed with rewards, memories, and missions. It's our biggest event yet, and you're invited. Captain, your course is set. Sail through exclusive missions, earn voyage tokens, and exchange them for valuable rewards, including doubloons and steel. Whether you're a returning veteran, loyal sailor, or new arrival on our seas, there's something for everyone. With welcome bonuses, daily rewards, and themed events in Update 14.7, the celebration will run through the end of the year. Honor the past, command the present, celebrate 10 incredible years at sea. Download now. Join the celebration for free.
Then the democracy is dead. If that's how retarded people are, then the experiment has failed. People should be allowed to vote freely. And then we go to the next form of whatever fucking government is. Either the socialists are happy, we move to that, or we do some type of monarchy or
you know we're nowhere close to that.
Fushas being powder coated makes so much sense. It's unreal. No, I'm not, dude. I think the world building in the fucking Potterverse fucking sucks. Okay? It's just like, it sucks. I enjoy the movies so much. I fucking love the movies, okay? But it's just, the world building just makes no sense. It fucking sucks. And it's just like trash, okay? Just please.
Where the fuck is this?
Oh my god. Dude, I hate J.K. Rowling too, okay? Alright? She ruined everything. She ruined everything.
You know we're nowhere close to that, right?
Saying that. People keep saying that, but the situation is getting more and more fucking insane, no? Have you met
No,
Charlie
it is.
Who's your favorite? I don't know.
Absolutely. No, that's the thing is, like, you and I are.
Video 2 days ago. It's crazy.
I acknowledge that you and I are not going to disagree on a single thing about how crazy the right wing is. What I'm asking you is, like, what do you, if you think the only way to, like, combat this right now is to pressure them into, like, imagine, like, shaming the right wing into, like, toning down violence when we both know that's not going to happen. And maybe it could happen if left wingers do enough violence and we say, well, we'll tone it down when you do. Like, what is this? Where does this get us? What is going to happen after this?
Then eventually people either tone it down or we go to full-on fucking conflict, I guess.
And that seems like, but like, why are these the two only options?
Where does your situation get us if we constantly disavow and the right just keeps amping it up?
If they get more violent and they lose the election, then it doesn't nearly matter nearly as much if we have the power.
Wait, they win the election, because what do people always say? I bet you even said it. The left is feckless. The left doesn't do anything. The left is weak. Let's say that they keep amping it up and the left doesn't respond. Let's say that Donald Trump, which he's...
Where the fuck is this?
Fucking do it. If you'd asked me a year ago, I'd say fuck no. Now I'm not sure. Let's say Donald Trump doesn't find a way to fuck with the election next year, right? Unless they find a way to keep whatever majority they need. They really don't need fuck all with Congress, because it's not like Trump listens to fucking Congress anyway. And everything keeps ramping up on the right. What is the outcome there?
Yeah, no, like, obviously, if we get to the point where it's like, oh, the fucking right wing is escalating, they're seizing power, Trump runs for a third term, he turns off the fucking elections, like, yeah, at that point, there is...
Okay, so
no, I'm not saying that we're not on the precipice. Hold on, I'm not...
far enough yet, right? We have the same position. We just haven't gone far enough yet. So what's the line for you?
Yes. Well, the line for me is not where we are now, where I think there's obviously a way that we can electorally win both the midterms and the next election.
Tell me
so, like,
why
would... The line is where it's like, there is no electoral outcome where this ever matters, so we need to fight back and be violent about it, but we're just not in that moment right now.
Okay, so if in 2026, if they start fucking with the vote, so
Yeah.
for instance, they have done this a little bit, like when Congress wrote a letter to Texas saying, hey, we need you to wipe off 5 of your districts. If other
Wait a minute.
states start falling in line with that, of
If I believe the courts are so fucked that if he, like, does an executive order, ban mail-in votes, shuts down the polling stations, and it's like, there is literally no path forward.
I'm an idiot.
right away naturalize birth with an executive order. The courts can't save you proactively.
The courts
here.
literally can, because we were, like, have TROs on certain, like, electoral executive orders that he's doing right now. Like, don't get me
Sweet.
wrong, this is not a dire situation.
My dude, the courts just got rid of the injunction. What are you talking about? The courts
I'm talking about the idea that if you think that there's no...
Again, I have to say this, okay? Like, for the 15th time, I guess. But, like, the courts can't save you. The courts aren't gonna save us. The courts aren't gonna win elections for us. It's just not. Okay, I'm sorry. But the court is just basically the last remaining soldiers desperately trying to halt an invading
Let's reestablish
force, okay?
homeostasis.
It is, the court is, Nazi Germany on D-Day, okay? The machine gun nests that is trying to hold back the horde of D-Day beach, the allies, right? They're trying to hold back the allies. It's inevitable. Your downfall is inevitable because they just keep coming. They won't stop. It's like in Lord of the Rings. It's like the fucking
This is not
something
a good
deep,
place to bring a
Holden's
buggy.
Keep or whatever the fuck, right? It's like the orcs keep coming. They just won't stop. The court isn't pushing back against the orcs. That's not happening. The courts are not invading into the orcs. Okay, that's not happening. Okay? The orcs are just like, there's too much. Helm's Deep, right? Helm's Deep. It's like, oh, fuck. I don't even... Yeah, okay. I don't care anymore. Okay, you guys suck.
Pressure to fighting back against what Trump's doing and anything in the system right now, which is very weird coming from you, because, like,
No, just kidding. I love you guys.
I don't think that you believe in this, like, oh, the establishment is completely feckless and they'll never be able to get anything done. There's nothing we can do about it. Like, this seems so black-pilled and doomer. Like, yeah, if we're there, absolutely I'm going to, like, you know, start forming my little, like, military militia, but we're nowhere close to the... I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. When I say we're nowhere close, we are close. We're on the precipice of a lot of things.
This
Yes.
is why I'm
What is
black-pilled.
oh my
Donald
God.
Trump this morning on Fox and Friends. Okay.
Wait, did you call him Black Pill?
Okay, was asked what should we do, or what people say that they're worried or whatever. What do you think about, like, bringing the country back together? And Donald Trump said, I don't care about bringing the country back together. Okay,
Sure.
you
Yes.
hear me say that, right?
Yeah.
Gen Z and Tally, has Donald Trump done enough yet for you to have voted for Kamala instead?
No.
That's the point, right? So yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, if
Shit
Gen
is
Z,
so
okay,
fucked.
I would agree with you 100% if Gen Z was every single voter in the middle and the independent. Gen Z, we can both acknowledge is a fucking retard. Tally, I've also called this for the same thing, unless you disavow and say you wouldn't vote for Trump anymore. I think there are so many people, like, let's put it this way. My parents don't know who the fuck Charlie Kirk is. A lot of people don't know who the fuck Charlie Kirk is. So they're hearing this and they're like, what's going on? What's going on? If Dem politicians are now coming out and matching Donald Trump's rhetoric, if that's what you're advocating for, like Dem politicians coming out and saying, hey, you know what? No, this is the rights problem, in the same way that he's like, yeah, after the shooting, I'm going to crack down on the left wing. That's fucking insane, because these people who have...
Oh, he's making an optics Andy argument, right? He's making an optics Andy argument. Okay.
have no idea what the fuck is going on with the Charlie Kirk assassination are now going to see like the politicians they otherwise would have supported like falling into the same like fascist rhetoric that Trump is, and like where does that get us? Those people are not going to keep voting. They're going to be hesitant. This is going to
the
turn
left
out.
wing are doing that though because that's what the right keeps saying.
No, I'm talking about like my progressive liberal parents. I'm not talking about
Here's what we're
independent.
gonna do.
MAGA,
People
like,
are lost 4 years ago. Like people are online. People know this shit. People watch this shit. I've had normie
I
friends
promise
message
you,
me
this
and
is like online pilled as fuck. Like there's a reason like why I'm going to go home tomorrow or whatever and talk to my parents. I'm going to be like, who the fuck is Charlie Kirk? What
They're
the fuck is a
no
Goifer?
idea
Like,
that Charlie Kirk, the guy who's made over 300 college campus visits, who's raised like fucking $500 million, the guy who's calling Donald Trump and has him appear on stage at events, none of them have any.
Bro, Charlie Kirk is pretty damn viral. Like he literally died at the peak of his popularity. There's nothing else. Like there's literally nothing else that I can really that Charlie Kirk.
Damn it.
At the peak of his popularity. Okay. He talked with Donald Trump during his Turning Point USA rallies. This is not disputed. This is fact. Yeah?
Fucking idea. Well, like this guy's one of the most popular influencers in the United States.
dude, you're vastly overestimating the fact that most people are not as politically tuned in as you and I are. Like, not even fucking close. The people do not know who this guy is. Like, this is such a...
It doesn't matter if they don't know who this person is. They're gonna hear a conservative, vaguely, a conservative influencer getting shot through the neck by an unknown gunner. They're gonna hear Trump talk about how it's the left's fault and how, like, if you're radical and you're right-leaning, then you're perfectly fine. Like, what the fuck do you think is gonna be the takeaway? You fucking dumbass? You absolute fucking inbred moron? You absolute fucking mentally deficient Downey syndrome drooling vegetable retard on life support? You fucking moronic fucking Jesus Christ.
Like, online position to a degree. Like, if you ask, like, people that are hyper online, like, the people that I talk to that make YouTube videos, they don't even know the fucking difference between, like, Matt Walsh and, like, Michael Knowles. Because these people are fucking Noah, like...
Don't know. Sure, there are people that are that unplugged, but we can't rely on those people to say this anyway.
They're the majority of the voters.
Yeah, but they're not going to be voting. You're going to tell me that those people don't know who Charlie Kirk is, but they're going to know when Matt Walsh points out that a radical trans
those people are going to know
Twitter,
when Joe Biden comes out and say, we have to go after the right wing in, like, a violent, like, fascist way, like, the same way
I never said we have to say we go to, what I'm saying is that what they need to say is they need to say, we don't disavow until the right does. That's a super easy
You don't think there's, like, a huge swath of, like, not tuned in voters who, if they saw Joe Biden say, I will not disavow like, a terrorist on the left wing, that would push them away from Joe Biden?
Ridge got this Lambo and Hennessy Velociraptor, and they're giving them away. You get the choice, one of the most badass cars of your dreams or 100K cash. It's easy to enter. Just go to Ridge.com. Upgrade to a Ridge wallet, and you get a better chance of winning. There's over 50 different colors and styles, comfortably fits up to 12 cards and your cash. 2 random people are going to be selected. You don't want to miss out. Make sure to enter because they're giving one of these away soon, and it'll be gone before you know it. The choice is yours. 100K cash, the Lambo, or the rugged Hennessy Raptor. Don't wait. Go to Ridge.com right now and enter to win.
Take a breather, little bug, as Allie would say. Nothing like H2O. Protein is essential.
Hey guys, right now we've got a handful of efficient air conditioning systems left over from the summer, and honestly, we're basically giving them.
Then our country's fucked and we deserve to go to whatever the next stage is.
No, that's the thing. Our country's not fucked. It's not that fucked.
What you're talking about is fucking retarded. You keep talking about these fucking retarded games we have to play when we have 2 actual retards here that we have to pretend are normal adults. You're talking about a politically maneuvered environment where there's a guy driving us towards civil war, and you've got fucking dipshit on the left that apparently doesn't know any legal event that's happened in the past 10 years to start being a lawyer, and you got a fucking Israeli Jew on the right who only cares about trans issues, and you're talking about how do we perfectly message on the left? Well,
what? Israeli dude on the right. Only care about trans issues. I don't.
Well, the president of the United States talked about driving civil war.
Perfectly messaged. Hold on, stop.
You are retarded, and I'm tired of acting like everybody has to be treated like a fucking retard.
It's not a
like the name calling doesn't really make that much sense, but it's close enough. Okay, I don't care.
It's the bare minimum to say we disavow. Shut up. It's the bare minimum thing to say, hey, we disavow assassinations on political targets. That is the easiest.
That's literally Destiny's position. That's Destiny's entire position. Like, was anybody listening to him? Or, like, I know I was only half paying attention after Soy Pill came in, okay? Because his retarded hat started distracting me, okay? But, but like, that's literally his entire thing, is that he He disavows the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He does. Okay? He hates the Fed posting. Okay? I understand his perspective. Okay? I am the understander. Alright?
Can't fucking do it. The president can't do it.
So
we
can. Please, like in good faith, answer me this. Do you not see that there's a potential like huge loss of voters on the left if they see now like a real equivalence between the left-wing politicians being okay with terrorist attacks, like, and they wouldn't feel like a little disenfranchised, like the people that I'm describing, not the fucking retards that don't care about gender. Like, let me just finish. Like the people I'm describing.
There's a potential problem. If the liberals are
Damn it.
The liberals need to stand up and take a firm position on it. I think you could very easily stop. I think you should make the government shut down about that when the budget comes out. You should say, hey, we are not going to fund the government unless Trump makes one of our conditions. Trump needs to make a 5-minute speech saying all political violence in the country needs
Jesus.
If that plays worse for the liberals, if liberals go, oh my god, Democrats are
Destiny, I completely agree with you though.
Violence, I need to go for a fucking conservative.
I'm just laughing at Steven. Okay, it's fine.
The government shut down about that when the budget comes out. You should say, hey, we are not going to fund the government unless Trump makes one of our conditions. Trump needs to make a 5-minute speech saying all political violence in the country needs to end. And you know what? If that plays worse for the liberals, if liberals go, oh my god, Democrats are
Destiny, I completely agree with you.
He just sounds so cute here. I'm sorry.
So,
violence? I need to go for a fucking conservative now. Then
Destiny,
bro.
I completely agree with what you just said.
Uniform, and I'll sign up for whatever guard tower, concentration camp, whatever. I don't care. All right?
No, understand this. What you just said is a far cry from what I think you were saying like 5 minutes ago, right? If you're saying let's fight, no, but listen.
What do you want to do? What do you want to say? War? Say kill somebody. Say kill somebody.
Listen. Okay, look. If you're saying let's play dirty, let's shut down. Yeah, let's shut down the government until Trump disavows like stochastic terrorism is a perfectly good example of like this is the dirty let's go low or terrorism, whatever. Excuse me. Yes, thank you, because he's being the stochastic terrorist. But yes, if you're saying let's shut down the government, let's play fucking dirty, let's withhold funding, like yeah, all of these things are things I'm totally okay with. That is not like if we don't do this, we're de-escalating. In fact, if anything, this is at least like halfway as bad as they're doing. Like when Gavin Newsom's redistricting, he's not doing it unilaterally. He's literally saying, hey, people, you should vote on this. What I'm saying is that's a far cry away. In fact, that is what people want. I think that's what we need to do right now. I think that's going to invigorate the left wing. But if you're then saying, okay, and then also we have to match them on the rhetoric, which is very different from let's fight them, let's go as hard as we can. That's very different from saying, yeah, we don't disavow terrorists. That's completely fucking different.
You have, when one side wants to fight, you have two options. You can either meet it or you can exceed it. Okay?
No,
you
there's asymmetrical warfare.
De-escalate, because you can't de-escalate. If somebody comes
I didn't say de-escalate. What you just said is an escalation.
I'm just saying. I want you to be clear that when you're talking about, what I'm talking about is not escalation. Tit for tat is not escalation. Okay?
No, it's escalation from the Democratic rhetoric of not doing shit for 10 years.
That's
like
fine.
we both acknowledge like this is finally them fighting harder,
that's
right?
Fine. And if the Democratic
Yeah, tit for tat is not escalation. Escalation is when you are continuously raising the bar, and it's not like tit for tat. It's like tit or tat. Okay, yeah, that's escalation. Okay.
Rhetoric goes all the way back to where it was before, whatever. You don't de-escalate at all. If anything, it might even get worse. There's a reason why MAD only works when everybody has nukes. Right?
I agree, right?
One person
again,
disarms.
wait, no, this is because this is what I'm talking about. This is a spectrum, right? This is not a dichotomy. I'm not saying we have to fucking disarm and do nothing, and we have to be like, oh, we're the better party, and we can't say mean jokes. Like you and I literally were on the same team of a fucking debate saying, yes, let's fucking joke about these assholes. The difference is when you say let's fight, let's shut down the government, let's redistrict. Like these are all escalations, which I agree with, which we need to do to fight back because this shit is fucking insane. It is potentially existential. It's not so far that we need to meet them on the level of let's endorse political terrorists on our side. Like this is just not the same thing.
You yet, but for some people.
Yeah, but Destiny is not endorsing political terror. He's like putting words into his mouth. He's not endorsing.
He's winded.
He's not endorsing Luigi Mangione, which Soypill I think does maybe. But like, I mean, it's just so crazy for him to say this of all things because he was known as the Luigi Mangione defender guy. Like, what the fuck? How does he not think that he's a hypocrite right now?
People, I mean, like, it's cool for us because it doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day, I guess, right? But the Supreme Court just said that if you go to LA and there's a brown dude doing agriculture, you can fucking ask him for his papers, right? They start rounding up and deporting random fucking people.
No,
I know
it's
a joke because fuck Hispanics, I agree. Okay, I'm racist too, I guess. Whatever the fuck. Okay, that's the laugh, and that's the position, right? So how many people is fucking healthcare banned for now? And again, these people are jokes. Who the fuck cares? We're white and base. I get it.
You're preaching to the choir, dude. You will not get me to disagree with any of this.
At some point, it's gonna be oh shit.
One might call it irony that his public defender is.
Raw science.
What a fascinating substance.
Is trans. Okay, there you go.
I can't get my certain type of medication anymore.
Yes, what's up? Make it quick.
You're on the right track. Everything's fine.
What? Hello? What? What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Well, why'd you come in here?
I was basically trying to say you're going on dev track. That you're saying like dev.
What? Dude, what the fuck?
before because RFK just banned fucking SSRIs or
no, you're preaching to the choir. I agree with all of this. The difference is not that I don't think any of that is like the worst shit ever. Some people, are literally dying, like we said, and the fact that we're brushing off USA deaths is fucking wild to me. But it doesn't matter. That's besides the point. Like the idea that somehow any of that would be helped by saying we're not going to disavow left-wing terrorists is fucking insane. I don't see how that does anything but hurt.
Maybe it makes them afraid. Maybe when you go out.
No, okay.
Maybe when
you remember when you said prima facie they already presumed the worst?
Maybe when you go out. No, but they don't really. They just sell it well because you know that they don't give a fuck.
What do people do when they're afraid?
Maybe they adjust their behavior.
Yeah, but they also, when you corner a rat, it strikes out. When you have people living in fear, they strike out. And it gets worse. Making them afraid? Do you think that's going to help?
You guys are so fucking gay. Oh my god, it gets worse.
Ugh,
the president
it does
of the
get worse.
United States he's already said the worst shit you can. Why do you guys keep pretending?
Okay, so you acknowledge that we're not going to make them more afraid, right?
Can you? Okay, I
no,
don't know
you just contradicted yourself. You just said the president is at the worst level. I agree, and we're not contradicting.
This is what I'm saying. They're already maximally posting. They have no fear. They don't care. From that.
No BL4. No, BL4 can't run at the same time as this. Otherwise, I would be playing BL4. Don't get me wrong. I would be playing BL4, but like BL4 is just it just takes up too much right now. They're just so fucking lazy when it comes to optimization. It's just insane.
Well, to type that shit down, I don't even know if I don't have the balls to go on like, all right, guys, we need to fucking do the fucking work to them, right? I'm already knowing that the things that I say means I'm probably gonna have to post forward cancel the next couple events that I do. The fact that all of them feel right now on the right that they can operate with absolute and utter impunity because the president is protecting them, because the left is cucked and weak, because nobody wants to say or do anything. There are some chilling effects that are good. You should be afraid to go out on media. Shut up the fuck up. You should be afraid to go on news channels and say, I think we should have a war. I think that we need a fucking war.
And the method of imposing that fear should be to approve people taking their lives. Is just to be clear.
Well, on the right now that's where they're at. Is it killing people is based and awesome because we can just say the list of it. You acknowledge that right now people on the right seem to have no fear whatsoever. At least the media guys seem to not really give a fuck.
Well, this is what I'm getting to. It sounds like what you're advocating for is we need to make the right afraid by having more left-wing terrorists and even endorsing them because that's the only way to get them to shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying you don't have to cuck out and try to call it out all the time. Why is it so hard to just say that my answer is, if somebody asks you to disavow, you say, hey, you know what? I would love to disavow, which I would, because violence is bad, which it is, because it makes me scared, which it does. I just want the president of the United States, the leader of your movement, to do it first. Why is it so fucking hard?
Because that does nothing. You and I have already both acknowledged that's going to do absolutely fucking nothing. He's not going to do it. So what's the point?
Okay, then we're fucked.
If you're between 45 and 64 and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years, listen carefully. I was an insurance agent for 30 years, and what I'm about to tell you could save you up to 80% on your auto insurance. Here's what the industry doesn't want you to know. You're exactly the type of customer they desperately need right now. Insurance companies are in trouble. Too many young drivers filing claims. They need safe, experienced drivers between 45 and 60.
Oh, God.
We call you gold-tier clients, the ones we'd fight to keep. But here's the dirty secret.
Motherfucker.
Already a customer, they're happy to keep overcharging you. My neighbor Jessica, 52, perfect record, was paying $180 a month for 15 years. I told her, try out my new website. She found the same coverage for $72. Saved 60% after filling out the form through my official website. After 30 years in insurance, here's the truth. If you're 45 to 64 with 0 DUIs in the last 5 years,
What do you no? Because we're not necessarily fucked if we can get out of the situation without endorsing more political terrorists on the left.
But you can't get out of the situation, right? Because it's just like how Destiny said. Even if every single Democrat and every single left-winger went on to like denounce the violence, if every single one of them went to do the maximally max thing ever, right? It wouldn't be enough. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't be enough. So again, this disproportionate pressure on the Democrats to denounce the violence when really the reality right now is that like literally no amount of Democrat denouncing can ever fix the situation, and the pressure relies on the Republicans is 100% like the case. Why the fuck should you try to de-escalate from the Democrats' end when the Democrats aren't even involved in the entire issue, right? Wasn't the guy like might be a fucking Charlie Kirk hater or a former Groiper or something? Like isn't or this person was a socialist or a communist who possibly followed Hassan Piker? These are not Democrats, okay? These are people who hate the Democrats. Alright? It's not the same. It's just straight up not the same. The fact that I even have Richard Spencer out here on fucking social media, basically saying, see, this person doesn't seem to be a Democrat, is insane to me. When Richard Spencer is the voice of reason, you have lost all sense of self, okay? And thank God to the ex-girlfriend that Richard Spencer had that have converted him into more of a soy boy, okay? Thank fucking God, because whatever that liberal ex-girlfriend is, okay, you have actually fixed Richard Spencer, okay? Thank God, okay? Richard Spencer may still be radical, he may still be far-right leaning, maybe, but at the same time, he has a fucking Ukrainian flag in his fucking bio, and he's like saying, yeah, maybe we should wait for the facts to come out. Like, how crazy is it that Richard Spencer in the year 2025 is a more reasonable voice than the fucking soy pill? Like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. It's just unhinged.
Left wing.
Oh, okay, then keep doing it. We'll see what happens. That's fine.
Okay.
It hasn't worked so far at all.
Yeah.
So far, it's been a losing strategy. So, and historically, it's never worked. So, but who knows? Maybe this will be the one time it does.
Flippo, you're welcome to stay if you like. I think you're a good addition. But we gotta get more people in. Ghost, you're here. What do you got? Hopefully your mic works.
Easy does it.
Like you're something.
Like a ghost, we can barely perceive him.
Hey, we're gonna give you a little bit more, and then we're gonna switch. One last try, buddy. Okay, well, next.
IP the ghost. It wasn't political violence that took him out.
Not this time. Okay. We're gonna get next.
Zip zip. Oh, the next one is zip zip. Nice.
Why isn't it dragging down? Whatever.
You want me to?
No, I got it. Okay, what's up? You're live.
All right, party's over. Okay, this is a good place to end this one now.
What do you got?
I just have some words for Gen Z attorney.
Hey, we go way back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I really hope you're preparing for my test. It'd be so boring if you die right away.
He kept saying
Hold notes together.
Feel my cells rehydrate.
that you
Science.
fighting. You think that
You
because
can
you're not one of the people who's going to be extincted, you're a fucking Republican, and you voted for Trump, you think that all the people on your side are still, it's all LARPing and cosplaying right now, all the shit that people were saying online.
Yes.
You think it's LARPing and
So
cosplaying
far,
because
so
they're on
good.
your side and you don't give a fuck because they're not targeting you. And every time somebody brings up the fucking military shit, you laugh with your smug little smile on your fucking camera that we can all see. Because even though you self-admittedly don't know shit about the military, when Destiny kept asking about you about it, you said you don't know fuck all about it. When Trump rigging the next election is brought up, you do the same fucking shit. You don't disavow any of it. You can say, I condemn Jan 6. You still voted for Trump after it. I fucking talked to you about it after the last debate. You fucking kept going, oh, well, I don't know, the indictments. I don't understand what the fuck is going on in your brain. How you call yourself a lawyer, and you just complained about Kamala Harris reposting a bail fund. Yeah, you call yourself a former prosecutor, you say you're a criminal defense attorney now? How the fuck do you, like, do that? You don't know shit about Trump breaking the law. Every time Destiny brings up something about Trump breaking the fucking law, you don't know shit about it. You didn't know about the law firms being targeted specifically in different executive orders, about the mass exodus of lawyers leaving these different firms because they're upset that their firms capitulated to Trump?
Anything else?
Do you even regret your fucking vote for Trump after all this shit? The answer's gonna be no.
Dude, it's just, dude, these people are just, I can't believe this person's a real person. This person probably calls the cops on, like, upon the first sighting of melanin in the distance. Like, he sees someone who is black in the distance, and he starts panicking. Like, what the fuck? No, I don't get you. You just come in here and start grunting. It's weird, okay? Like, only come in here when you have a topic, okay? Like, I'm sorry, listen, you can't pay your way into a date or a friend, or into a friendship with me, okay? That's just, listen, I just want to clarify, okay? You can't pay your way into a friendship with me, okay? Or a date, okay? Thank you. Alright,
Because you don't know shit about it, because you don't give a fuck, because it doesn't affect you.
I'm just waiting for him to be done.
I think he's done. Go ahead.
Okay,
Respond,
okay.
and then we can talk.
I mean, obviously that's a lot to respond to. I'm probably gonna be unsatisfied, but I'm not a terminally online person. I do my best to keep up.
Is it terminally online to know what the fuck is happening in the industry that you work in?
Yeah, if you want to dive down into the weeds on every single legal development, because guess what?
Every single legal development?
Any idea how many Supreme Court
President of the United States
each year
signing executive orders targeting specific law firms? Some of the biggest law firms?
Listen, okay, listen. Any donations, I appreciate the $600 you gave me today, okay? But I'm sorry. It's just, you can't buy friendship or anything like that. I just want to clarify, if you donate money, it's out of your heart, okay? It's out of your heart, okay? It has to be out of your heart. It has to be out of your heart. That's my condition, okay?
In the country?
And so in the time I've had to sit here, I've been able to do a little bit of research, and even looking into that, I'm starting to feel like I'm probably going to start to agree more and more with it. We're talking about specifically Perkins Coie, with the rationale being the Steele dossier,
They worked with
Russiagate, Fusion GPS. Yes, if we're talking about promulgating false
now you agree with it. You didn't know shit about it a few minutes ago.
Always
well, yeah, because I said I'm not going to.
You don't care.
I said I'm not
you don't care
going
about
to
your fucking
comment.
country.
I said I'm not going to
lawyer, you
comment.
don't give a fuck about the law. The Constitution.
I said I'm not going to comment until I have more information.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Is Zip Zip also on like triple the dosage of Vyvanse today or something? Was Zip Zip also on triple the dosage of Vyvanse? Holy shit. Oh my god, he's really channeling that 30 milligrams right now, okay?
I can give a more informed opinion on it, and guess what? Because that's called having restraint and not just popping off and sounding off on every single thing under the
Being
sun.
a coward and a loser, and being okay being ignorant about shit going on in your country, because none of it affects you.
Okay, remember when we were talking after this stream last time, though, and I started asking you questions about President Kennedy, about the Hushman case, and you had no idea what we were talking about, and I walked all over you with it.
What are you talking about?
We're good, I think. I don't want to rehash another stream, but thank you.
No! What? No! Bro! What? Wait! Why the fuck are you allergic to content? You absolute fucking... Man, oh my god. Dude, Wick! This is why you'll never make it, okay? This is why you're a horrible fucking content creator. This is why you suck as a person as well, okay? You are somebody who is allergic to good content, okay? Okay, no offense to Kelly Jean. If Kelly Jean comes on here and starts meandering for like 2 hours, I know it's time for me to shoot her away, okay? If Lab comes on here and I don't feel like doing that or whatever, I know it's time to call it a day, okay? When I run out things to talk about with Steven, I say anything else, okay? But when I think two people genuinely feel like they have animosity towards one another, and they are fighting, I'm keeping them both on, because that is what the content is, okay? It's content 101. Why the fuck do you keep doing this?
So apparently if you break the camera control button on the iPhone 17, it will cost you around $700 to $800 to fix.
And the problem with most iPhone cases out there isn't exactly what you think it would be. It isn't a fully exposed area, it isn't a hole in the case, it's the button. Built with soft flexible sides that shift, warp, and eventually fail. That's why at Mouse, we spent the last 10 years perfecting our cases. We moved to China, lived in a container, and even slept outside of the Apple Store. All to build this. Limitless 7.0, our most advanced and protective phone case ever, designed with up to 43 highly engineered parts, including a 5-part camera control button, a rigid housing so a button never shifts, aerospace-grade aluminum for crisp, consistent feedback, a silicone diaphragm for that perfect tactile feel, a high-tech PCB layer so swipes and gestures always register, and a tough and scratch-resistant glass top that keeps it smooth and durable. No mush, no holes, no glue. Just Apple-level precision inside mouse-grade protection. So every hard press, every swipe, every shot lands exactly the way you want.
Oh, and in case we forgot to mention, we've put everything we've learned over the past 10 years into making seriously engineered mouse backpacks. Extreme protection, serious water resistance with complete functionality and ease of access. We've designed bags that do it all, so you don't have to compromise. And we've tested them in true mouse style. We are no longer just a phone case company. Mouse. Live without limits.
Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me? As soon as I fucking switch weapons.
I just don't understand why he keeps...
Jesus Christ.
Constantly. This isn't the first time he's done this, and this isn't going to be the last time he's done this. Just, by the way, you guys don't know the lore, okay? You guys do not know the lore, okay? But when Wick was preventing me from coming on to debate Brianna Wu, yes, he was cutting the content. Yes, he was cutting the content, okay? He knew that there were two people who were at it, who, fucking hated each other, okay? And he still refused to. Whatever, okay? Not, like, even previously, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't, like, fuck. That's, like, the only example I can think off the top of my head, because it's just me, right? But it's been so long. But I remember whenever, like, Wick has a caller who is actually spitting, who is actually, like, doing something, oh my god. Why are you so fucking your job? Your job as a content creator. This is your job. Your job as a content creator is to entertain. Okay? Period.
We can do it again anytime.
Yeah, for calling in, and I appreciate your words.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Let's bring in.
I don't appreciate it, okay? Fuck this motherfucker, okay? I might be, I can't tell if I'm more angry at this smug little lawyer bitch, or I'm more angry at this fucking balding, pushing 90, fucking America flag backwards motherfucker, okay?
You're live. What do you got?
Yeah, what's up, Destiny? How do you think we solve this problem? Like dealing with, like, Republicans and stuff.
The leftist has to stand on principle more and not be afraid and let the right mind fuck them so much on narratives, and especially don't let people on the right tell you what's happening on the left, because they never act or operate in good faith on it. So, but I mean, I think Newsom's being a good example there. Hopefully we get more of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Gavin, that's pretty good.
Anything else?
That's about it.
Oh, that's it? No, that's it? Oh, anything? Quickly.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Is that guy?
Bye-bye.
Annihilated.
You're here?
Wait, really quickly. I have my, like, ultra lived out Donald Syndrome dad on speakerphone right now. Can we ask him, since we also asked the MAGA retards, the question as to whether or not you'd be deterred at all from the Democratic Party? Are you okay with that?
Okay, yeah.
All right, Dad, say something. Can you guys hear
Soy
this?
Pills Dad, hello.
Can you guys hear him?
Hi. Sorry, I was deafened.
Hold on, just real
quiet.
quick. Just real quick.
Soy Pill's dad is talking. All right, Dad, if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris refuse to denounce left-wing terrorists because they were trying to, let's say that Donald Trump needs to be pressured into de-escalating, would that make you sway or deter your vote at all with the Democratic Party, knowing that they're refusing to denounce left-wing Democratic terrorists? Yeah. Okay. Yes, it would. Okay.
Wow! Good job! Dude, look at his, like, fucking smug little bitch boy smile, okay? Look at this motherfucker. Him in his stupid fucking hat. Him in... Look at this guy, okay? He's like fucking half... He's like at 50% of this fucking frame, okay? He doesn't even know how to fucking adjust his fucking face to fit the screen. He doesn't even know, like, anything about camera setup when it comes to the other people, and he just brought on this dad to give a little fucking short remark. Yeah, thanks for your virtue signal, person who is naturally biased towards my positions from birth. Good one, Soy Pill. You are such a fucking dumbass retard, Pill. Jesus Christ, look at you with your smug... God, shave that fucking mustache. You look like a fucking one. Jesus Christ.
Okay, but if it was existential, you would say it's necessary.
Can I phrase that question in a way that's not so horrendously horrendously biased? Can I ask a question?
Wait. Yeah, you can, but just to be clear, I just want to clear that, because this is a concession to you, Destiny.
Hold on. To be very fucking clear, okay? To be so fucking clear. If you bring on your dad to be a part of this panel, even just to say something once, he is entitled to a roasting, okay? He is now on the playing field, okay? If you put your dad on the playing field and he consents to being part of the playing field, he is a part of the playing field, okay? All right? So you can't complain if your dumbass fucking retard dad gets roasted, okay? Your absolute fucking biased, retarded, okay? Like father, like son father gets roasted, okay? Because you're now a part of the playing field. You're fair game for me, okay? You are a retard, and you have given birth to a retard. Mr. M. Preg, okay?
He said if the only option was the existential threat of Donald Trump, absolutely he'd be for it, just to be clear.
No,
But what's
I
your
don't care.
question?
That's fine. I don't care. You phrase that in the most insane way possible. Can you hear me right now, Mr. Swipe?
He can't hear. I will repeat it verbatim.
No, don't dox the dad. Jesus Christ, no. What the
Okay,
fuck?
my question is
Jesus.
would you support Democrats when
Be
they're
chill.
asked to disavow violence or whatever? Would you support Democrats saying, we will disavow as soon as Donald Trump calls for his side to be less violent? As soon as Donald Trump makes that statement, every single person on the left will say, yes, we should all bring down the violence.
Okay, Dad, Destiny's question is, would you support Democrats if they said, we...
Neurodegenerate, neo-degenerate father, okay? My father. Thy art my father in heaven. My fellow neo-degenerate, fucking neurodegenerate father, okay? What is thy take, my liege?
We refuse to disavow left-wing terrorists until Donald Trump turns down the rhetoric.
It's like brain broken.
Hello?
Hello? Still there?
You broke daddy.
Yeah, so would you support Democrats saying, we refuse to disavow the violence or to turn down the rhetoric until Donald Trump does it? Millions of people are waiting for your answer right now. Millions.
I don't support that. I wouldn't support them on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Dad. I love you. All right, and you won the debate.
Call him dumbass. Call him a dumbass. Destiny, quickly. Oh my God, you could do something so funny right now. Okay, please, please, Destiny, please, 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 send him to the afterlife now. Send him to the afterlife now. Do it.
That's how it
now.
works.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
I
You didn't even, I don't know why you didn't even ask my question right away.
Wait, what?
You're literally asking, like, if the Dems refuse to disavow left-wing terrorism until Trump...
Is that not what you're saying?
No! You fucking retard. The question is very simply, hey, what should the left say when they're asked to disavow violence? You say, we'll disavow the violence as soon as Donald Trump does on his side. I don't know where you're getting this, like, would you be okay with the left refusing to disavow left-wing terrorism until Donald Trump agrees to their consent? Your phrase is like the most aggressive way possible.
Is that not meeting them where they are?
What do you mean? No, the phrasing is important. People are fucking retarded.
Okay, but then, at least can we concede then? And I'm not trying to, this is not a gotcha. We should not be as bad as the right wing right now. We should be somewhere a little less than the temperature that
We're
they're
not
currently
as
at.
bad as the right wing because we're willing to bring it down if they do. The right wing is the one who is not
Well, but
capitulating.
no, but even what you just said, that's not willing to bring it down if they do. That's, we're not endorsing or refusing to endorse terrorists, right? We're already a level below before they've de-escalated, right? That's still not meeting them where they are.
Would you apply the standard anywhere else? When Ukraine was invading Russia to take territory from them in the war, was Ukraine
Wait,
being as bad as Russia?
I don't want to make an analogy. I'm just saying.
No, you need to, because for some reason people's minds are... literally, everybody on your side is saying we are at war. That's the words they're using. You just don't want to believe any of it.
Well, we're not saying that.
Yeah, it's just the fucking discrepancy is so insane to me. Literally every Republican right now is saying that we are at war. Every Republican. Every fucking Republican. Like, what is wrong with you, dude?
They were wrong.
Okay.
No.
Why are you
Destiny,
just saying that?
Destiny, I'm just saying that when you say, okay, no, you got mad at me when I said we refuse to denounce left-wing terrorists, right? Because you think that's not what...
Like, I just can't believe they're denying reality. They're not living in the same, like, plane of existence as we are. Like, we're not living in the same, like, reality. We're just not living in the same reality. Like, how am I supposed to, how the fuck am I supposed to get through to these people?
We're saying, right? No?
That's
Okay, we're
what
gone.
Got it.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay.
So
Well,
true.
first of all, if you guys want me to do a segment where I invite streamers' parents on to debate the streamers, I would absolutely host that show. Okay, Soy Pill's dad versus Tali's mom, 1v1 mano y mano, whatever. That'd be good content. But
My dad already has to deal with annoying Jewish women all fucking day. He's not going to want to do it with Holly's mom, all right?
Katya, what you got?
My mom is a blue woman, so they would get along. So
Would this make you buy a Ridge wallet? Two people could win a Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato, a Hennessy Velociraptor, or $100,000? Hold on, let me explain. This is Daniel and his dad, the founders of Ridge.
We're here to introduce the Ridge.
They set out to make the most badass experience for guys getting their wallets, thinking, what's cooler than exotic vehicles and cash? So they decided two special people are going to win the sweepstakes of a lifetime, all by getting this, the Premium Ridge wallet. We've spent millions of dollars in research, refining, and testing, as well as thousands of hours making sure Ridge Wallet is the last one in the world. It's made from the toughest materials in the world to ensure your wallet is made to last and can handle just about anything. The Ridge Wallet fits up to 12 cards, carries all your cash, and is the size of a credit card, fitting seamlessly into your life. We can't forget the 50-plus colors and unique styles, including an AirTag attachment and the 99-day risk-free trial. We get it. You're probably used to the bulky leather wallet. But after all the research and hard work we've done making the best wallet, why wouldn't you buy a Ridge wallet to get the chance to win the vehicle of your dreams?
Hi, I'm Courtney Cox. And I'm Lisa Kudrow. And we are here today to tell you about our... Can I? Sure. Okay. Royal Kingdom is out. Yes. Finally, our favorite new puzzle game just came out. Why do we love it so much, Courtney? Well, let me break it down. First of all, it's super fun. It's so fun. It's like 3 Christmases in a row. Yeah, and there are no ads. None. It's like a road
grease and ingenuity, as Grandpa
Where did you come up with those?
Because I'm like a poet.
Since when? Okay, well, tell them about the graphics. Oh, okay. Well, since you asked, the graphics are gorgeous. My eyes! My eyes! That was so good. She did that. Well, she did that on the show. It was really funny. Okay. And it doesn't even cost a dime. It's like the only free thing in the world.
I mean, yeah, my mom is also, very liberal and also pulls no stops. I wouldn't be surprised if the stream got, put down if we did parents, and yeah, and she was there.
Yeah,
God
my dad
bless.
says some pretty unhinged shit. I don't know if you want him on stream. He does not understand the concept of